Oh, because we're all fucking Star Wars people. Okay. I see. You gotta put it louder in my speakers. Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Rated G with Gary G. Garcia and Brian T. Licata. We're your boys. I am Gary G. Garcia, along with my partner in misinformation, Brian T. Licata.
Hello, friends.
We're doing it again. And today's always a special episode. It's a special episode today. We got a guest with us today.
Ooh.
We got comedian. You do music as well, right? So
I do,
pretty
yeah.
much all around artist. You write as well,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, all around fucking artist. Shanon Harris is with us today. She's one of our monthly regulars.
Mm-hmm.
Now up here in AC Jokes, so you can catch her every month. She comes up 3 times a month. She's up here this weekend, so if you're in AC, come check us out. Last night's show was amazing.
You say that every night, though.
No, I don't. I really don't. What about the show when the chick told me that she wished Mike was the headliner?
You said that was also amazing.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you're like, it's so amazing that she finally recognizes his talent.
Yeah, whatever, man. But we got Shanon Harris with us, man. Shanon is so good. You were here last time. We didn't get to do the podcast. We're a little pressed for time, thanks to our boy Brian over here, but that's okay.
I mean,
pressed for time means we can't go 3 hours.
2.5.
That's what that means. That's pressed for time, man. Shanon plays with me over in at the Grizzly Pear. She's one of my regulars over for the Not Quite Tuesday show. And honestly, I'm so glad that you're down here working with us now, man. It's amazing.
Yeah. Glad to be here.
You know.
We have a comment.
We have a comment already.
Yeah, King Handles wants to know, Shanon, are these men holding you against your will?
Not to my knowledge.
Well, that's how we do it. We try to fake it like you really want to be here.
I'd rather be anywhere than in my apartment right now, so this is perfect.
There you go. I got to be honest. I don't even realize she's here. Like, I realize she's here now, but like before I came, I didn't even know she was in the house. She's literally like a church mouse.
Yeah, I was just reading.
That's all she does. She reads.
What are you reading right now?
I'm reading a novel called Delhi by Kushwant Singh. He was like an Indian reporter. It's a very graphic novel, to be honest. I didn't anticipate it.
Like violent graphic?
Well, yeah, I mean, violence is bearable. No, it's actually very graphic, which I should have anticipated. It's on the cover, to be honest. I read another book by him. I didn't. I read another book by him that was like really just moving and like just heart-wrenching. It was about partition, and I was moved to tears. So I was super excited to read this.
What is this book about?
It's about the city of Delhi and its history, but in between each chapter is a chapter about his
sexual conquest?
Well, no, that's in every chapter.
Sexual escapades?
Yeah, with a whore who's what is it when you have both the male and female parts? Do we have a term for that people use now?
Hermaphrodite.
Yeah, so he has a hermaphrodite that he's been seeing for like decades, and that's in between every chapter.
And he's also dropping an album with R. Kelly called Best of Both Worlds.
I don't understand.
Remastered.
The hermaphrodite question has always been lingering on my mind. I don't really understand how it works. Same thing?
Each one is different.
Hermaphrodite is you're born. It's a clinical thing. You're born with both
genitalia.
Yeah. What's her name is probably the most famous hermaphrodite. The one from Halloween.
Lady Gaga?
No, from Halloween. What's her name? The one from Halloween. The chick who's been in all the Halloweens.
I don't watch Halloween.
You never said, that's right, you don't watch that. She said, I don't watch Halloween. I'm a good Christian woman. I don't watch Halloween. What the hell's her name?
Is that what it is? You don't watch it because you're Christian?
Jamie Lee.
What's up with the rape scenes?
Jamie Lee Curtis is a hermaphrodite?
Curtis. Yeah, she's like the most famous hermaphrodite.
What?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
You didn't know?
No.
See, someone always learns something new on Rated G.
Are you sure?
I mean, that's been the word for years.
Is it just because she keeps her hair short and everyone in the 80s couldn't handle that?
That could be it, too. That could be where it started, but I think I'm correct on that, man. I think she's open about it.
So here we go.
She has the perfect name for it.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's really funny.
She does.
Yeah.
Though. That's
Yeah, it's accurate.
the parents were very accurate.
Claim actress Jamie Lee Curtis acknowledged in an interview that she was born with both male and female sex organs. It says it's false.
Oh, word.
Oh.
It says one story that keeps on circulating around Hollywood, and we know how much time Gary spends in Hollywood, is that Jamie Lee Curtis was born a hermaphrodite and had to undergo surgery to become a legal female.
And that's why this is called misinformation.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we don't know. That could be misinformation. I mean, they say the same thing about the leader of France's wife.
Well, no, dude, we also just looked up the AP. The AP, you know, like the Associated Press. They're the ones that like fact check everything. Nazis. Didn't we talk about that on the last show?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They were Nazis.
Yeah, I mean, there's no like source that's like you can just trust it.
That's our show.
This is the trustworthy source.
I mean, dude. What would you say?
Well, you could trust us to be 50-50.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we have a good 50-50.
I mean, I would trust you to give as non-biased an opinion as possible. Sometimes you surprise me, but
No, I think it's actually the most. I think it's the most biased.
But you're just getting to know me. Sooner or later, what's sad is I won't surprise you anymore. It'll be like that bit I do that I say, will anybody be surprised with anything that they hit us with?
I don't know. You're a lot like my mom, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, you're like if my mom did drugs and was Puerto Rican.
And the hermaphrodite.
You're like if my mom did drugs and was Puerto Rican. You know how many times people comment that I'm just a drug addict? Not as many times as they call him a drug addict.
Does they call you a drug addict?
Well, yeah, they do that also. But they'd be more correct in that.
It's because you both need fuller cheeks.
Is that what it is?
You need healthier faces.
Are you saying I have an unhealthy face?
No, it's not that, but you don't have like the love of an Italian mother in your cheeks, you know?
That's true, because I'm a Puerto Rican father.
Yeah, but you have to have it.
What you see here is just a beaten man. This is what happens when you're just a beaten man.
Even Puerto Rican fathers should have someone making sure they have a good meal, right? Or themselves. They can make it themselves, too.
That's what I do.
Do you?
I pretty much cook myself. I can't wait. I'm finally going to have an open kitchen. I'm very excited about that. It's the things in life that make you excited, you know?
It's because you want to be able to watch TV while you cook, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Or just have a conversation with someone where they don't have to be in the doorway, like you're in a different room. It makes it, unfun to cook.
I like hanging out in the kitchen with you in there sometimes.
Yeah, but wouldn't you enjoy it more if there was like a hole right here and you could just chill,
I could walk up to it and order it.
Order your meal. Wouldn't that be better? We got comments. What do we got over here, man?
All right, here we go. This is from Themore76. Themore says, we know one thing, she hasn't watched any of the shows before. How do you respond to that comment?
That's true. Any of this podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's one thing you do. Everyone knows that. They're like, this girl is too nice to have ever watched this show.
Yuki says LMAO, and Jasmine is in the house.
Hey, Jasmine, my daughter. What's up, mama? She's over there in Georgia right now, right? You're in Georgia?
What part of Georgia?
What part of Georgia you in, mama? My daughter is also not just one of the best human beings in the world, but she's also an avid follower of our show.
That's so sweet.
Right? She watches pretty much every one for a little while.
What a great way to know your dad.
I've said that a couple times. I said to my wife, I was like, can you imagine in like 40 years when all these episodes are still on YouTube and we have like grandkids? They're like listening to what we were saying about like the 2024 election in, 2060.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait till my grandkids hear what I had to say about Jeff Bezos' fucking rocket ship.
That's good. You're going to give them roots.
Yeah, that's what they need.
Yeah, roots in an internment camp in the future. She said she's in Atlanta. Jasmine's in Atlanta
there
right
you
now.
go,
I like Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta. Weren't you in Hot Atlanta not too long ago?
Yeah, I lived there for a hot second. I was in Hot Atlanta for a hot second.
No, but didn't you just go there like not too long ago? A couple of like weeks ago? Weren't you out there?
I was in Austin, but I flew through Atlanta. Yeah, I was in Austin, but I flew through Atlanta.
That's totally different.
Where are you from?
Kind of Mobile, kind of Syracuse.
Kind of Mobile. Mobile is Alabama.
Yeah.
But you were born in Mobile.
I was born in Syracuse.
Oh, you were born in Syracuse and what? You moved to Mobile
When I
that's
was
where you
10.
were raised? Yeah.
Yeah.
same
But my
thing with
dad stayed in Syracuse, so I was in Syracuse all the time still.
Oh, okay. Very cool, man. And I'm guessing that you were brought up like probably pretty Christian.
Yes and no. I mean, my dad is still a minister sometimes at an inner city church, so he's been.
I like that she said yes and no. I mean, my dad's a minister.
Yeah, but my parents got divorced when I was really young. So my mom wasn't really going to church because they hated her for divorcing my dad. So I grew up seeing both sides of it, you know. I grew up seeing like the bad in the church as well.
Oh, from all the judgment and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit sucks. You know. What age, you said 10 years old is when you did it? Do you think it would have been better if they did it when you were older?
Oh, they divorced when I was 5.
Oh, when you were 5.
Yeah, so I don't really remember
So
them
you don't
being
remember
together
that,
now.
So you, yeah,
But
you
my
kinda-
siblings are older than me, of course. They got all the worst of it. They got the worst of the church people too.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I was like 7, 8 when my pops got kicked out the house, and it was like I think it probably affected me. I think it affected me.
I think it affected you.
Yeah, I do. I think it.
Yeah, I'm gonna weigh in. Yes, it definitely does. Yeah, it definitely does. It has to. I mean, dude, I mean, come on. You need to have
because 7 years old. I think I was old. Like I was old enough to I wasn't old enough to be like I was at that age where like, can't you guys just make up? Not understanding the intricacies of life. You know what I'm saying? But I was old enough to know that my pops wasn't going to be there, and I wanted him there. You know, and I used to go see him on the weekends over on Avenue D when the city was the city. It was horrible. St. Mark's used to be one of the scariest places to walk down.
Oh, it's scary for
42nd
different
Street.
reasons now.
Well, I mean, you live in the city now, but it's funny too because she just went to India by herself.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're one of those chicks that travel by yourself just to check it out, like with no destination to check it
Yeah.
out.
I think that's dope. India is not a country high on my list. I want to know how your experience was.
She wants to go back.
With your stomach and with the food and the water and the toilet situation.
The toilet situation, not as bad as I thought. Most of my overall review is nothing was as bad as I thought it would be. The toilet situation, I tried to just use the hostel toilet before I left, and I never really had to use it much when I was going out. But if you're in a business or a restaurant, they're not that bad.
What are they like out there?
What are the toilets like?
Yeah.
They're bidets. They don't have like the toilet paper in most places.
So it rinses.
Yeah.
But then
I'm
how
a
do you
fan
dry?
now.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of the bidets. I've always just heard of like the hole in the ground.
Yeah,
kind of
that's
thing.
what
Is
I
that,
had
like,
heard too.
Old school.
Yeah, I'm sure it's still in a lot of places, not places that white people would go when they're in India.
Right.
Yeah. But also, I mean, I think generally I have a very, I have a lower bar for what I expect out of the world than most people do. So I think maybe I'm wearing rose-tinted glasses. But
no, I mean, some people they don't need the like 5-star hotel to travel.
Like I stayed at hostels the whole time. They were
Yeah.
clean. They were fine.
How about the food or the water?
The
Did you ever
food
do
was
situation?
amazing. The water, I did drink out of water bottles the whole time, which is not something I normally do. I had water bottles. The food is amazing. I did get sick at one point, but I got sick, and it still affects me now. But
See, that's the shit I'm talking about. That's why I don't want to go to India.
But it's because I ate
of that.
food that I wouldn't normally eat anyways. Like, I think my body was not just like, oh, there's a bacteria that's unfamiliar, but it was also like, oh, this is a food that like we don't do this.
Right.
So I think it was like inflamed from eating something that is very unhealthy for my standards, and also from a bacteria, and the two of them together was like detriment. But I didn't get food poisoning. I did throw up one time, but it was for different reasons. But yeah, I didn't get food poisoning. It was just a bad case of the runs.
This just reminds me of that Seinfeld episode when he's like, don't go to India.
Dude,
It's a horrible, horrible place. And she thought that they were trying to keep her out of the wedding. And then she shows up because she was like, could you believe even the father told me not to go? And then she goes because she just wants to prove a point. And then she's like, this is such a horrible, horrible
It's
place.
lovely.
She wants to go back.
I want to go back for like a month or two.
I got upset at her for like a second when I said, you're one of those chicks that go to these fucking countries that, if I'm correct, like, can't like the husbands, like, is that one of those countries where like if the wife cheats, the husband can kill her?
Probably not.
Not. That's
No.
more Muslim countries.
Yeah, I think India's a little
right.
more. Well, some parts of it. What basically there's cities that are kind of in touch with the way things are moving in the world, and then there's villages, and of course they don't have a lot of resources, so they're going to be however they're going to be.
They're gonna be how they're gonna be.
Yeah.
So I was like kind of upset though, because I'm like, haven't you ever watched Locked Up Abroad? And I hear all these stories, and it's usually a chick who goes on her own. Next thing you know, they're making her smuggle drugs. But
I
then
don't
she
watch
goes,
anything.
But then she says, but Gary, I live in New York by myself.
It's way more. Seriously?
And she made the point that it's way more.
Way more dangerous. Like, I didn't go out at night. I did take the train at night one time, and I didn't have any weird encounters. But I got back to New York, and immediately it was like, one train car, there was a guy eating a raw potato. Another train car, there was a guy who would just shit his pants. Like, there's like actual people losing their minds everywhere in New York, and you didn't see that there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because there's no fentanyl, probably.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's a whole other.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
There's a lot of things.
There's a lot of things in India.
Yeah,
that's true.
And there's a lot of aunties looking after everyone and telling them don't do that.
Oh, so it's still sort of like the community helps to raise the child. If you do something wrong, they will tell your parent.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they lost that here once the kids started getting too big. Once 16-year-olds started having the size of 25-year-old men, people stopped ratting. You know what I'm saying? They were like, I ain't gonna tell his parents shit. I don't need this kid knocking on my door.
Yeah, but also parents don't want to hear anything about their kids here either. Like, parents aren't interested in being like, oh, you did what? I'm gonna punish you. They're just like, what are you saying about my child, I
fucking hate parents now. I really do. I hate parents now, man. What do we got in the comments over there? Hit us up.
King Handles wants to know, no wanna bump party favors. Terrible host. You want to explain that, or should I?
I mean, listen, I still got the wanna bump. It's just not. I don't want to bump.
Right.
It's not. You ever see wanna bump? It's like sniffable caffeine.
Oh.
But they sell it as if it was cocaine. Like, everything about it is like taken from cocaine. There it is, right there. They sell it like it was cocaine.
It's $10 for a vial.
Why?
Because that's that's
Just
their whole
drink
thing. They even sell
coffee.
fake $100 bills to sniff it in. It's amazing.
That's
so
so dumb.
we bought one and we did it on the show to try it, and
The video got 12,000 views.
it's one of our best videos
People
yet.
are so dumb.
And we did it off an old Dr. Dre CD. We went old school, man. And I mean, it was cool. It's don't even sweat that. It was cool. It's a quicker. Put it this way. It's like drinking the whole cup of coffee in one shot.
Yeah.
So it's just a.
I knew I was going to spill this.
That's all right. You did something that now I hear a whistle when you hit something just now.
Really? I might just pull something out. I just didn't want the stuff to spill on the wires.
That's
Thank
all right.
you.
Yeah.
I don't hear a whistle for what it's worth. Do you
Yeah,
still
it
hear
stopped. It stopped.
Okay.
Maybe that was just me. Could have just been me. But yeah, it's like drinking. It's
Tinnitus.
like drinking a whole coffee in one shot. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
instead
But
of having to
that's
go
just
through all these
espresso.
sips, you just bang it.
Espresso.
It's even quicker than espresso because you don't have to drink it. It's just, and it's.
But it goes up your nose?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Well, I'm sure you could also woof it
What is that?
You could.
when you put it up the booty.
That sounds terrible. How is that easier?
Well, I didn't say it's easier. I'm just saying I think you could do it that way too as well.
It hits you faster. That's really what the benefit is.
That's what it is. It's the quicker absorption rate is what they call it.
Who needs that much caffeine that fast? What are you doing?
Probably nothing good. Truck drivers.
Oh, okay. That's like a pretty valid.
Even though I would think they're sniffing it, I don't think there's too many truck drivers sitting in their cab with their pants to their knees, shoving fucking bumps of wanna bump in their ass. But I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure you could do it that way. If you can do it any way, you can do cocaine.
I want to figure out how to base it. That's really what I'm about.
You know how many people commented that about basing it? So many. Actually, that's probably the only thing we ever put up that didn't get as many like we're assholes and these guys are fucking idiots. In fact, a lot of it was positive.
It was
and
more or less
funny.
very positive. Yeah. Very, very positive.
Fucking
I think it's weird that buttholes have like that much of an absorption rate. Is that
what?
Is that
the
okay
butt?
to say? Yeah, why?
I think it has to do with the lining
But like what?
because with cocaine you sniff it and it goes into your nose down into
Right.
your throat, so you have to go that whole way.
I think you mean just like why is the butthole
Why
a source?
evolutionarily
Oh,
is that so?
That's actually a pretty good fucking question, right? Like why? I don't think it needs.
What were
more
they
than,
doing?
It doesn't really need more than one use. You gotta hand it to
Exit
man.
only is what I've always said.
You gotta
It's
hand it
exit
to
only.
man though. Man found a bunch of uses for that shit, right? You figure they hide
Not
drugs.
I.
They hide drugs in it. Well, I'm just saying, man in general, and yes, probably mostly men, but
Yeah.
I'm sure there's women smuggling drugs in their booty holes
Yeah.
too. Yeah. But But that's crazy how they use it as a purse too. Like it's a purse. It's a absorption rate thing. It's crazy how they found
I
more
like how you pointed
uses.
at her when you said absorption.
Well, because we're talking
no,
absorption.
yeah, I
rate.
know, but it's just,
Well, I guess the other use. Well, no, we're talking strictly about the butthole. You don't need that to sit. You know.
But
Yeah,
like
so
you need
that's
it to not hurt to sit.
yes,
right?
That helps. That helps. But I think it goes numb.
Oh.
Probably goes numb, like when you know. Like
I
when
should
you-
have known that while I was in India with the runs.
Well, I guess you could also ingest it too, right? Because Coca-Cola used to have cocaine in it, and people would drink it, and you know they'd get an effect.
yeah, I'm pretty sure people more swallow meth than Coke, though.
Ew.
Oh yeah, I don't think there's many people at all that would swallow Coke. I just think that you can, right? Because it used to be in Coca-Cola.
It did. Yeah, no, it did. Yeah, it used to be in Coca-Cola. That's what the Coca
You didn't
is.
know that?
I
That's
did
where
know
the name
that.
came from.
Yeah.
They're actually the only ones who are still legally allowed to import it into the U.S. They still have
What?
yeah. Coca-Cola can still.
That sounds like a problem.
That sounds like a connect.
I know. Dude. Yeah, you know anybody at the distribution fed the Coca-Cola?
You know anybody who works for
distribution?
Coca-Cola, dog? That's
Yep.
crazy, man. They're like Fringe from fucking Breaking Bad. He runs the whole thing.
Fring,
He had the chicken.
Fring, Gustavo Fring.
Fring?
Fring. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Fring. Yeah, Fring.
Fring. I say fringe. Fring. Tomato.
We have a couple other comments
Let's hear 'em.
that I'll hit.
Oh, damn, we got a lot of comments, dog.
Themore says, "Welcome, Shannon. We found the one funny person from Syracuse."
It's the worst city. That's true.
Stormy says, "Hello."
Stormy. Where you been, Stormy? You know we miss you. Glad you're back, Stormy. Glad you're well. Hoping you're well. You know, but if you're back, I'm guessing that, you know, you're not so stressed that you can't give us a couple of minutes. So I hope everything's well. Stormy, welcome back. What do we got on there?
Jasmine says, "I think it affects every age." LOL. Talking about the divorce.
Oh, the divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like she was older, man. My daughter was, my son was 16. My daughter was like 19, 20.
That's a weird age for that to happen.
Yeah.
I won't presume to talk about your daughter's experience on here, but yeah, that's a weird age for that.
Just imagine you was my daughter.
Every time that I'm with Gary and he flips out, I go, "I feel like your son Sam when you were teaching him how to do math."
Well, when I got into it, I was telling you the story about the meter maid. I got into it.
You told her that
I
story?
told this story, yeah. So when I called him a goat fucker, is that what I called him?
Yeah, you said, "Go fuck your father, you goat fucker."
Oh, okay. And then I drive away, and Brian goes, "So this is what it must have felt like when you pick Sam up from school." And I was like, "No, well, no. I don't think I ever flipped out at the school. It was a Christian school. I couldn't do that shit. You know, you got to know how to act in certain areas, man."
Jasmine also says, "You think it's dangerous though? You always scare me before trips." You think everywhere is dangerous though? You always scare me before trips.
I guess
Yeah,
that's just
well-
an all parents thing.
Well, she also goes to Disney a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait, why are you saying that like I should be like, "Oh my God, she goes to Disney by herself"?
Well, you know, Disney hires nothing but pedos all the time. They always do.
She's like in her 30s, right, dude? She's
Yeah,
fine.
but she looks young. My daughter doesn't look like she's in her 30s. She looks like she's like, I don't know, man. She looks like she could be like young teens.
Well, there's those conspiracies about like Disney Underground or something, right?
Yeah, man. And then they just, and here's the thing. I just tell them, make sure you wear shorts. Because they just busted some dude who was working in one of the places where they sell shit. And he was keeping fucking mirrors and cameras on his shoes.
Yeah.
And fucking filming up women's dresses. They're all pervs there. They're all freaking pervs there.
It's crazy that people still do that though, when literally everything is so readily available, anyways.
Yeah, it's so. I guess what happens is that they're so desensitized to just seeing it, which is what I talked about before. When I was growing up, you saw a bra strap, you would bug out.
Yeah.
You'd hit your man and be like, "Yo, dude, look at that bra strap over there." You know, you'd bug out. Forget about cleavage. You'd bug out back in my days. You know, nowadays it's just every fucking where. So I would think then what becomes the stimulant to these people is the fact that they know they're doing something wrong and they could get caught. That has to be part of it. Because it can't be like what you said. It's all over the place. You could probably find, you know, chicks on OnlyFans that are doing that themselves, taking pictures themselves, pretending to stand there and pretending like someone's looking. You know
It's
what
about
I'm
the
saying?
hunt, G. It's
about the hunt.
Yeah, it's about the hunt.
It's the
That's
thrill.
that's
It's
why
the
I like
thrill.
to do it.
When you're not man enough to actually hunt.
Yeah. I get out there, bow, arrow. You know.
Do you
My
follow
quiver.
Phil Duckett?
Kinda.
Did you see the post he put up yesterday about he was on the train and some dude went up to some chick and grabbed like both her butt cheeks and then ran?
No.
And he was like, I didn't know what to do.
New York, man. It's way more dangerous than India.
That's true. Because in India, they probably cut his hands off if they caught him, right?
Someone would slap him immediately.
Immediately, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's what gets me, Phil. I know you're not listening, Phil, but, you know, what do? You chase the motherfucker.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much to think about that, yo. And you and every dude on that platform suck it out that day.
Yeah.
They did. Every dude. Oh, did they just, you know what you saw. Cut it out, Phil. You should have chased him down. You're big, too. Phil's big, too.
Yeah.
Nah, dog.
I feel like I live every second of my life in New York ready to chase someone down and hit them with a bottle. It's that...
You be hoping like me when I lived in New York. I used to be hoping like I walked in on something that I could handle.
I
You know
don't
what I'm saying? Like I
hope
walked in
for
on
it.
somebody doing something stupid to somebody else, but I could handle that dude.
Yeah.
And like it gives me a reason to finally let out all the stress. Like
I think
could
that is
finally
what it
get
is.
out. You know, like
Yeah.
that person deserves it. No one's gonna get mad if I kick this dude 7 times in the face.
Right.
No one's gonna get upset because of what he was just doing. And I felt like, oh man, every day I used to walk, every corner I turned, I'd be like, oh, I wish I walked in.
Yeah, it's not
on
like a
something
hero
that I
thing.
can-
It's
no,
like
no,
a letting
no.
it out thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yes.
in other words, this is a free beatdown. I could pick up a stick right now and just start beating this dude, and no one's gonna be like, oh, even though nowadays, who knows, especially in New York.
Yeah.
That's another reason why probably nobody wanted to help.
Help,
Because
help
you
what?
remember that story that happened with that dude on the train that was being aggressive to everybody, and then that Marine
Oh,
dude stepped
right.
up
And then everyone was protesting.
because he killed them.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you know, obviously an accident. That dude didn't go out and say, I'm going to kill me a bum today.
Yeah.
It was an accident. But that whole accident started because of the psycho dude. And it's messed up because he obviously was mental.
Yeah. And then
You
they
know.
like shut down the trains that weekend and everything. I'm like,
So inconvenient.
you guys should just, it is inconvenient. That's what it comes down to. You could not get to Astoria that weekend. I don't live in Astoria, so it doesn't matter. I had a gig in Astoria. It was impossible to get to. But it's like, you guys are shutting down trains after someone already died, and yet you guys don't do anything to get them off the streets in a normal day.
No.
They're always happy to turn a blind eye to that.
Oh, my God. That reaction just now reminded me. You ever heard that Patrice O'Neal joke? Where
Maybe.
he goes, you know, people don't like to be real, you know. He goes, you're on a train, and I'm paraphrasing it, because he goes, you're on a train, and then the train stops, and the announcer goes, sorry for the delay, but a person has jumped on the tracks, you know, and then you're sitting there, and you're like, oh,
Wow.
man, fuck, I'm going to be here forever. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's how New York is. You know, that's how New York is. I remember, I'm horrible, man. All the times that I remember how horrible my mind is. I remember one time I got on the train coming home. It had to be about like 2 a.m, so I waited a long time for the train. Going back to Astoria. We get on the train, and we make all these stops, and through all the shit, you could smell something, right? Something stinking, you know, and everybody got their shit over their nose, you know. We pull into Queensboro Plaza, first stop into Astoria. We probably stopped 5 more times before that. We get into Astoria, and we're not moving. And then I look in the next car, and I realize cops are going into the next car, and there's a dude dead in the next car.
Why
And
was
well,
he stinking?
He shit himself when he died.
Oh.
Yeah. So he was sitting in a chair, and he died, and he shit himself. And people were still in the car. That's what's even crazy. People were still in the car, right? I was in the car next to it, but it was so bad that it was going into the other car. So then everyone gets out that car. They all start going into the other cars, and then they stop the train. And I'm like,
How's that going to help this man
I'm like, there's
undie?
3 more stops.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. There's just 3 more stops, and the train's at its last stop. We just came from New York. Can't, like, you guys get in the car with them, close the door, open some windows, and can't we finish this destination?
Yeah.
Like, and then I felt horrible because that's how I felt. I was like, all right, well, the dude's dead, but, you know, there's 3 more stops. Do we have to stop the train here?
No, but you're right.
Thank
You're
you.
right.
What's that look like I'm wrong?
Dude, I'm not saying anything.
I know. That's what makes me think that you're judging me.
I'm not judging you. I'm sitting here intently.
Honestly,
listening.
I don't care what you think. If she just agreed with me, that is one of the purest hearts right there. If she just agreed with me, then that heart's not as pure as we thought it was.
But it's just you're in a city of 9 million people. Like, people are going to die, and you can't hold up the whole city for it,
And
because
it
it
wasn't a
does
murder.
affect. Yeah, that's the thing, and it affects. It's a chain reaction. Like, one person's late to. No, a train full of people are late to something. They're already stressed out. They're getting home from work. Like, that affects their whole day.
was
That
2
affects the
something
way
in
they
the
treat their
morning.
kids. Like, it affects everything.
I agree with you 100%.
Like, one delayed train in New York probably ruins, like, literally 100,000 people's days.
You see that? I'm actually a caring person. You know, and my thing is, he wasn't murdered. Can't you pretend you didn't notice it until 3 more stops? Can't you just act dumb for 3 more stops
Did
and
they
then
stop
go,
it to
"Oh."
remove the body?
Yeah, well, you know, they stopped. They got everybody off the train. Nobody was going nowhere. I had to jump in a cab. It was horrible. Oh, they actually had a bus that pulled up downstairs to take everybody the rest of the way, but I jumped in the cab. It was 2 in the morning, you know. But I felt like they could have just acted like they didn't see it. Go sit on the other side.
Well, you can't do that, but I feel
I mean,
like
just get in
they
the
gave you
car and
guys a
let's go
bus.
to
That's
one.
good.
Yeah, but it took forever to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, I jumped in the cab. So it wound up costing me, but whatever.
King Hansel says, Gary, the conductor should have made you smell his fingers.
That's a good one, King Handles. I love you, dog. I feel like you missed a bunch of comments over there, man.
I did, yeah. That one was just relevant to what we were talking about. Here's another one. He says, oh, here you go. In America, everyone got that FIA on them. I don't know what that means.
Everybody got that fee on them.
It says back in
2012.
2012, the college kid butt bonged a couple Four Locos pre-prohibition, earned himself a trip to the hospital.
Oh, Four Locos. That was the big thing back then.
Oh yeah, dude. When I was in college, Four Locos were the drink.
Aren't they still around, though, in other states?
No.
No, they're completely
Pretty
banned.
sure they're banned. I mean, if they're banned in Alabama, they're probably banned everywhere. Maybe not Arizona.
True.
Yeah, no.
Or California.
No, California's probably the first to ban them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But no, they like reformulated it. They just like took out a bunch of stuff that was in it. But it was like a triple Red Bull and then like a bunch of liquor in it. They were great, dude. I've seen people have seizures on those things, dude.
They were great. I see people.
Yeah, like 4 of them, dude. She drank 4. This girl Zoe, when we were in college, she had a seizure. I think there was something else going on too. It might have
Oh,
not
this
just
is
been the Four
not the
Locos.
girl who. This is not the person from the comments.
No. This is just his friend.
I was like, wow, you went to college with the person that butt bombed him.
No, I mean, I'm sure somebody I went to college with was doing that, but
Yeah.
not. It was a beer bong to the butt.
Oh.
Made famous in Jackass. And then Themore 76 says it's a gay thing. Only found here on Rated G.
But you know they do that with alcohol too, by the way.
Yeah.
that's that. I mean,
They
the
do
Four
that with
Loko,
al-
the Four Locos alcohol.
But don't they put it like on like a tampon or something like that? I heard they put it on like a tampon.
that's for the other way to get.
You
get
can
it
do
in.
it the other way.
I don't know from personal experience, but I've heard
What?
that you can.
That's like a guaranteed problem, though.
That's what I'm thinking.
You're gonna really mess
You don't
up your
want Trump
system.
pussy.
Oh.
That's got to be a problem. That's horrible. Did you look it up just now?
Yeah.
Oh man, your fucking search history must be horrible.
About those vodka tampons, right? And it says, yes, you read right. Rumor has it that some people, primarily teens, according to the internet,
of
are interested in
course.
inserting vodka-soaked tampons into their vagina or rectum. This is known as slimming.
Slimming.
That can't be that effective.
Alleged
The
facts.
absorption rate.
Yeah, but just as a woman, they're not that absorbent to begin with. There's no brand that's adequate, so you're probably not getting that much alcohol that way.
Even if like you get it all in there, you soak it up. Isn't it like the slow release?
Yeah, but then your body's
Sorta like
not
one of
gonna
those-
soak
one
out
of those
everything
slow
out of it.
release like capsules.
Maybe.
Actually,
know.
it gets you buzzed faster.
Quicker absorption rate.
Yeah. And you don't have the smell of alcohol in your breath, and you can pass a breathalyzer test, yo.
Oh. But once they catch on to that, then they're gonna be like, could you have your pussy breathe into this for a second?
We need a
Could
quick.
you imagine getting pulled over? Come here, take a breathalyzer.
Yeah.
God, there is
It
a
says
specific.
you're good. It says you're good, but you're obviously drunk. Can you do me a favor? Lay on your back and spread eagle.
Oh no.
We need a quick queef over here.
Could you queef it?
It also says not absorb any calories from the drink and avoid a hangover, but they say that's probably not true.
And avoid a hangover. Man, they're trying to sell it, right? I would think that's a sell. They're trying to sell that shit.
No, you have to really hate yourself to do that.
She said, no, you really have to hate yourself to do that.
There is like an absolute unique type of creativity and intelligence in people that actively drink and do drugs that I will just never understand.
I will never understand how he put shots in his neck. Mm-hmm. You would have never guessed, right? He's come a long way. He's come a long way, and he looks great.
What do you mean,
because
with a needle?
Yeah, with a needle.
Yeah.
Always towards the heart. You don't want to go towards the brain.
No.
Doesn't he look fantastic knowing that now? Because I'm going to tell you something. When he was putting shit in his neck, he looked like the type of person who put shit in his neck.
We probably have some photos of that, actually.
Now,
too,
he doesn't look like that at all.
Of alcohol or what?
No. Meth.
Yeah. Heron.
Horrible. He's horrible. He's worse than me.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, maniac.
Yeah.
Gross.
Don't say what to me. Say what to him.
I don't know him like that.
That's all right, man.
All good. Some other comments, though. LMAO. Yuki says the effects were minimal, though. Stormy says she was sick and she had the Rona, but she got busy and she's back. Stormy had the Rona.
Oh, I'm glad you're better. She got better and she's back. Mm-hmm. Or did you have sex and now you're back? I was feeling bad, but then I banged one out real quick, and man, do I feel better.
Yuki says, y'all saw what just happened in Moscow. No, haven't seen that yet.
No.
Stormy says, learning new things today. I blame the Disney Channel from King Handles.
Yes, man, the Disney Channel is corrupt, man. Disney is corrupt. I never knew it. Them and all their subliminal dicks. You know about that, right? Like how all their movies have fucking subliminal dicks out of nowhere. Oh, Jasmine's going to defend them? What did my daughter
No. Jasmine said that's got to cause inflammation. LOL, vodka burns my chest when I drink it.
Yeah. She's got a point.
Yeah, right? It burns. Some of that stuff burns. There'd have to be a burn to it, right?
But also, the pH is a very important thing for women. You can't be throwing a very heavy... Alcohol is acidic, right? Yeah. Yeah, you can't be throwing just acid in there.
What if you...
I'm glad I'm not the one who brought up this conversation.
Yeah, how do we?
I don't even know how we got here.
We got the tampons. You said the tampons. You
I did bring up this
brought up the conversation.
Oh, man. I did bring up the conversation.
I dove in, my bad.
I was encouraged. She's at best an enabler.
What can I say? He's just like my mom. It was a girl thing.
I watched something interesting last night. I assume you're probably around the similar age to me, 90s in some range. Did you grow up in the 90s? Okay, so...
I didn't grow up in the 90s. I'm from the 90s.
Got it. Okay.
The 2000s were more like
I had very older siblings, if that helps, so I probably know.
Well, the Quiet on the Set documentary just came out.
I just heard about that.
Drake Bell. Do you remember Drake Bell from Drake and Josh? It was the first time he publicly spoke out against all the stuff, and I'm 3 episodes into
What are you watching it on? Because I've been trying to watch it. What's it on?
I watched it on Max.
Oh, I don't have
where he's speaking out against, like, his allegations?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there was this guy, Brian Peck, who was like a dialogue coach that was involved with... So the main producer is Dan Schneider.
who was a creep.
He was a creep, right? But the one thing I'll say from this documentary thus far, where I'm at, he's only guilty of being a creep and an asshole to women because he paid these 2 chicks.
Oh, great.
He paid these 2 chicks, like he gave everyone else full salaries and then hired 2 women and made them split one salary.
Oh.
No, but he did much more stuff than that too.
I haven't gotten to that
Wasn't he
part
weird
yet.
towards like underage women though?
Yes,
he was.
Yes.
He had a very
That's
weird...
kind of enough.
Correct, but there's...
He had a foot fetish, which is why in all those Nickelodeon shows they always show feet.
Yeah.
Correct. And they
With like
it's always
jelly on it, and
it's
that's
always
why
like-
their logo, if I'm
Ugh.
correct, is a foot too, right? Isn't the Nickelodeon logo a foot?
there was one logo that did have a foot in it at one point, but they also, a lot of the jokes, watching the cut scenes of all that together, it's a lot of like jizz on the face jokes.
Yes.
Like some gets squirted out on.
They just showed Ariana Grande. They just had a video on
dude,
her.
that was disturbing.
With all the clips that they made her do where she's squeezing a potato. Can you get juice out of a potato? And she's going like this to it, and she's basically like masturbating the potato.
No.
Yeah, a whole bunch of that. And she's little. You know.
She was like 12.
Yeah,
like 12. But there was a bunch of them. But
bunch of them.
But this guy, so far to where I've gotten in the documentary, I haven't seen anything that Dan has done besides.
Well, I watched a documentary on him. There's a whole documentary on that dude.
That's not this.
That's not that.
Not this one.
No.
Okay, so I got to watch that one. But this one is really getting into the stuff with Drake Bell and Brian Peck, and Drake got like raped like a ton of times.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was fucking crazy.
Yeah, and there's this chick that just came out too from there.
Like during the
that's
show,
saying it.
like during the first season of the Drake and Josh show.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, doesn't he say he woke up one day? He woke up and the dude was molesting him.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Went
That's
on for
so
like
sad.
yeah, went on for like 6 months. He did a really good job. Like I watched it last night, and I watched 3 episodes, and I was like, I can't like watch any more of this before I go. But it's a you know, if you grew up in that time frame, or even if you didn't, it's it's interesting to see. I mean, because
never
I was
really
like
got
12.
into Nickelodeon. Oh no, that's not true. My daughter watched Hannah Montana and shit like that, and I'm sure they all went through the ringer.
Yeah.
I'm sure they all went through the ringer. Any child actor that I see, I'm like they went through the ringer. And I get upset, too, when I think that way, because I love Justin Bates.
Oh, dude, and Leo, this guy was
And I
Leonardo
always think, like-
DiCaprio's acting coach also. And you can go through the list of like all this dude that all the young male actors that this guy was an acting coach with, and it's like top stars. Yeah, we don't love Hollywood on this show. In case you can't
That's
tell.
fine.
Yeah.
No, and the truth is the music industry's fucking me up, too. I can't listen to this. So many artists I can't listen to anymore. I used to love Best of Both Worlds with Jay-Z and R. Kelly. Used to love it. Then R. Kelly got popped, and I couldn't listen to it no more. And now I'm hearing all this shit about Jay-Z. I can't listen to Jay-Z no more. Now I'm listening to all this shit about Diddy. You heard all the stuff coming out about Diddy.
No, I don't listen to
He's
anything
got
about anyone.
four not cases, but 4 lawsuits against him, and they're all dealing with sex trafficking and all. Yeah, he basically is the R&B. What's his name?
Epstein.
Yeah, he's like the R&B Epstein. With an island, and he even had like some place on an island too. He was taking people, right?
Yeah, in the Virgin Islands.
Virgin Islands. Yeah, the dude supposedly was like basically raping all his artists.
Oh.
Horrible. And shooting people. And like straight up shooting people and getting people killed, putting hits. Crazy. It's crazy. All the allegations, and they're just allegations. But I believe them.
I sent you this Diddy meme today. Did you see this?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that one already. Somebody else, one of our followers sent it to me.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to some comments, man. I see a bunch of comments there, man.
Learning new things today. I got to blame the Disney Channel. No, inflammation. And then, no, I still have vitamin D deficiency. That's what Stormy says.
Oh,
So if you're not big into politics.
I get it. Now I get the joke.
Oh, that was a.
That was when I said that she, pot one off, and she said, no, I still got a vitamin. Well, good luck. Got to go out there and get some sun or someone's son.
King Hansel says, Diddy is low-hanging fruit. See what I did there.
Diddy did it. I believe Diddy did
I
it.
hadn't heard anything about this.
Oh, it's like...
But I can't keep up because it's
that's
like
the thing.
everyone.
The thing is, it's not everywhere. The mainstream media is not talking about it at all. At all. They're not talking about it at all. They all got each other's backs. This dude had people in his house. They had cameras everywhere. That's how they do it. They get you, and they said what they would do is he would have parties. He would spike the drinks with Molly. And he'd have like 16-year-old chicks in the house all dressed up like they're old or whatever. And then the next thing you know, you're drinking there, you're partying. People are having all kinds of crazy. It's like almost like an orgy. And you're on Molly. You don't even know you're on it. You're just feeling like taking off your shirt because everything feels hot.
Yeah.
And then you get this young chick coming up to you. You would think they're of age. They're hanging out with all these people. You wind up doing something. It's on film, and now they got you.
It is crazy because everyone's like people talk about like, oh, like there's a balance of good and evil, like the world is in balance. And I always think about it and I'm like, can there really be that much evil in the world? And then you hear about Hollywood and you're like, oh, that's where it is.
Yeah.
Like that's not all of it, but that's a lot of it.
I mean, all that stuff, man.
It's the best concealed evil.
Yeah, and even when you hear about like these actors opening up schools in other countries, like what's her name? Oprah. Oprah Winfrey opening up that school for girls in Africa, right? It was in Africa she did that. And it wound up they were abusing these girls and probably shipping them out. You know what I'm saying? Even right now with the things that are going on right now with the border, a lot of people come through, men, fighting age men come through with a child. They say, this is my child. Then they separate them to put them into, to put them through the system. And when they look for the dude to come pick up his child, he's gone. Mm-hmm. So now they're left with all these children that are not being claimed because they're being bought across the border by drug dealers or whatever. And they said that those kids half of them are ending up missing. Where are they going? Whenever there's things like that going on, whenever there's like the shit going, I guarantee you, Palestine and Israel, there's people out there scooping up kids.
Yeah.
There's people out there scooping. Whenever there's something gets blown up, they're looking for the surviving kids that they could take. It's horrible. It's evil. There is a lot of evil. I would question when they talk about a balance, I would question whether it is a full balance or whether or not evil's kind of tipping the scale right now.
You think that's it? You think if evil tips the scale, that's kind of the end of it?
No, I believe in Jesus. I think the end result is righteousness is going to win. That's what I believe. But I do think that there are different points throughout, throughout time. And I think that the point we're in right now is kind of tipping to the other side. I do believe love will prevail. I do believe righteousness will prevail.
I don't know if evil is taking over right now so much as just ignorance, idiocy. Like, I think good and bad are still in balance in a way, but then there's this neutral ground that's just people who don't really care to actually think for themselves, and then that's lending power to evil regardless of what it itself is.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. And then the evil people are making stuff to make the people dumber.
Yeah.
They're just making.
That's like everything that's currently being produced as a product material or media or whatever.
Ass backwards right now. You heard about what happened in Queens? This chick was selling a house, and they had the house set up. They were getting ready to put it on the market for sale. Some dude came in there and started living there. She found the dude living there. When he left, she went into her house, changed the locks because the dude didn't belong there. He basically broke into the house, and she got arrested for changing the locks. They said a landlord can't change the locks on their tenant. She said he's not a tenant. And he's like, well, I have a lease. Didn't produce no lease or nothing. And what they said was the courts are going to have to decide that. No, the motherfucker can't produce a lease. Get him the fuck out of my house.
I didn't know it was that easy. I would have been out of my apartment a long time ago.
It really is now. I got that article up. It says vigilantes try to evict squatters at $1 million Queens house after homeowner who confronted
vigilantes.
Look at what they call them. Not homeowners.
That's crazy.
Not homeowners try to throw, what is that? People who go into,
squatters.
Nah, fuck that. That's the nice word, man. These dudes are home invasioners. They got video of the dude pushing his way into the house on her to get back in the house. That's an invasion, dog. Just like we saw the other day at the border. That's an invasion.
And they call them tenants right here, bro. This is crazy.
They say vigilante.
Yeah.
They're vigilantes because they're trying to throw people who broke into the house out of their house.
What a crazy precedent to set, though.
That's what it's all
because
about.
New York is at that point where everyone is so welcome back, by the way. You're going to love moving back to New York. It is at a point where it's just like people are so desperate and the housing market is so bad that people are going to be hungry enough to do that in the metaphorical and the literal sense, I think.
In the literal sense.
No, yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, I was in San Francisco.
You're getting ready to go back to New York, dog.
Yeah. Well, I lived in Brooklyn for
Well, you're getting ready
to
go to New York. Either way, you'll be in New York within the week.
Yeah, I got my Louisville Slugger dusted off. That'll be at the front.
How long do you think before he regrets it? How much time do you give him?
Well, you're going to be... Am I allowed to say the neighborhood? That's fine, right?
Yeah,
you're going to be in the Upper West. I mean, that's fine. Like, it's not as crazy as most of the other... Yeah. I work in the Upper West one day a week. Like, it's still pretty normal relative to everything else. I think it's more of a family neighborhood. I think neighborhoods that are more like families instead of young people are doing a little better right now.
Yeah, because they'll be the ones that'll speak up about the homeless people. Like, there's a lot of... When I was in San Francisco, it'd be these... the Mission District was one neighborhood that all young people lived in, and they all were like, this is the best neighborhood ever. And I stepped in shit as soon as I got out of a cab.
Yeah.
Going to a fucking concert.
Yeah,
that was one of the times. I stepped in shit more than 5 times in a year in San Francisco.
That has never happened to me in New York. I've definitely seen it a lot, but I've never stepped in it.
No, he stepped in shit twice in one setting with both feet.
Oh.
One after the other. First 1 foot, and then like he looks, and then the
Separate
other foot.
ones?
Yeah, but here's the
No,
kicker.
this isn't true. This isn't true. Whatever he's about to say, I know what he's about to say. It's not true, but go ahead.
That's why you know what I'm about to. It was his dog. That's what makes it like fucking, divine retribution. It was your dog. You're the one who said it, dog.
I said it could have been from my dog, but it wasn't.
It was
human.
it was
and
your
somebody
dog.
shit on my front porch too.
Now that
Of a
might
fucking-
have been your
It'd
dog.
be like a brownstone.
Yeah, he definitely had you a brownstone. Yeah. He left the brown log in front of the brownstone.
Yeah.
Gross. Fucking gross. People are disgusting. How can you even do that? Fucking gross.
They need better access to public toilets.
Is that it?
No,
I don't think so.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't think that's
I'm kidding.
it.
Yeah, and the funny thing was when I was there, they did this big conference at the beginning of the year. It was like
People are just animals.
they go ahead.
I should have let you finish because this is a whole other can of worms.
That's fine.
It's
this is Rated G.
It's not they're animals. It's just nothing is real anymore. So like, how are you supposed to be balanced in your mind and being? How are you supposed to take in whatever you're being given of life and make it into something fruitful and that's good for you when nothing as we know it now was the same like 100 years ago? Because people don't talk, in my opinion, about like the way evolution plays into things. It's like our bodies have been slowly changing forever. That's fine. But there's so many new things that it's like, how can you expect people not to lose their minds when nothing is familiar? There's this history to genes in the body and all that, and all of it is being kind of violated by this newness and this fakeness, because a lot of what's new is also fake. Most of what's new is fake.
Mm-hmm. It's insane.
Like, of course we're losing our minds. We as a collective, I don't think there's anyone who's really an exception.
No, and we talked about this on the show too. The fact of technology and the overload of information that we've gotten in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
What that plays on the psyche of a person. That's why people can't tell. Like, me and you have talked about it because we watch a lot of YouTube like conspiracy videos, and there's a lot of them that it's AI voices, and it's all stock footage, so you don't see a person. So the question I pose to him all the time is, okay, if the content is truthful, right, who made it? Mm-hmm. And if the content is false, who made it and why, right? Mm-hmm. So it's becoming more and more and more, and that's really what the singularity is about. I think that's the right term or whatever. But when you can't tell the difference between human and AI generated content.
Yeah.
It's close. I'd say with less than 5 years.
But I think also what it comes down to is that no one who has the right to know the truth or the power to know the truth cares about any of us knowing the truth. They have no incentive to tell us, and if they do have an incentive to tell us, it's for bad reasons. So whatever we're being told is almost never going to be the full truth.
No, yeah, it's probably not even
like we're
partially
too
true.
small to deserve that in their eyes.
In their eyes, yes. They obviously see themselves as better.
So the question is, what do we do?
I thought you were going to say the question is, who is they?
No, we know who they is.
They.
Them. That's who they are.
That's who they are.
That's who they are. Fucking them.
Yeah. I said that to my dad the other day. I gave you credit for it. Because he's like, who are they? I was like, them.
Them. That's who they are. I don't get to sit in on the meetings. Yeah. But I know that there's meetings. You know? Like if I walk into a room and I smell shit, I don't need to find the pile. I know someone's shit in this room. You know what I'm saying? I know there's shit in this room. That's how it is with them. I don't know who. Well, we know who some of them are. We know the Rothschilds. We know the Rockefellers. We know some of them. Oh, dude, the Bidens.
Did you see the thing I sent you about the he was like head of security at the Bill and Hillary Clinton airport in Arkansas?
Oh, and he's dead now.
Yeah, gone.
Gone. Didn't he? What happened to him? Died of natural causes.
No, he
7
got
shots
shot,
to the back.
Dude.
Yeah,
someone killed him. Yeah, he got murdered.
Natural causes.
Yeah.
Because naturally, if you get shot in the back of the head, you're going to be dead. Yeah. That's a natural reaction. Yeah. Everything is natural causes when you think about it. The only thing that's not like natural is like he died walking.
I make this argument.
That's not natural. But if you get beat in the head, because this is anytime it comes down to the Clintons, it's always natural causes. Even if the dude, gets stabbed 37 times, they're like, that's natural causes. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. right?
Yeah,
if
like
he gets
because he
stabbed
died
37
like 2
times,
hours later after bleeding out. They're like, well, he died because he bled out.
naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Naturally, that's what's gonna happen. He didn't get enough help.
I gotta correct myself because I read the article and kind of got mixed up. But he was at his house, and they raided his house. So he was the executive director of the Bill and Clinton or the Bill and Hillary National Airport. And he was killed in a shootout with federal agents who raided his house and said he was illegally dealing guns. Allegedly, that's what he got raided for. This dude.
How can you illegally deal guns in Arkansas?
It's a fucking dude, look at this guy, bro. Look at him. You're telling me this dude was running guns for somebody?
Yeah, those aren't very nice cabinets. I don't think he was making that much money.
No, they actually said his salary was like $250,000 a year, and he had all this stock money. So the reasons that all his friends and family are saying it's bullshit is because he makes so much money. Why would he sell guns? It's like why would somebody who's making a couple $100,000 a year sell drugs?
Well, that's like yesterday we were talking about my boy in the story who got popped for ghost guns, and traveling runner was saying that they set him up.
Yeah,
I read some of the articles on it.
But what's the setup?
But
they put the guns there?
I don't know, but they had more than just the guns. They also have like a hit list. You know, there's like a hit list with like lawyers and judges and stuff like that. And there was other stuff that they found. I don't know if it was planted or whatever, but it's 130 charges and they're not all guns. I started reading up on it yesterday because it's my neighborhood, but it's insane. Yeah, I mean, what do you believe? Did they do it? We're at a point now where like we could turn on the TV tomorrow. You see me and you robbing a bank, and they'll be like the new Bonnie and Clyde, and we'll be like, "Did we rob a fucking bank yesterday?" Because that looks just like us robbing a bank. Are you sure we didn't rob a bank yesterday? You know what I'm saying? Same thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're at a point where like, if AI is that good, then any evidence might not be even real.
Yeah, I mean, people use that. I mean, I use AI generated content for shit all the time. I mean, it's in the last year where it's really taken off. It's 10 times better than it was at the beginning of the year.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, that's insane. And
yeah, we're not far off. We're not far off. Video generation.
I think the Prime Minister of Italy's wife, they just did a deep fake porn of her, and she's suing. You know, it's fucked up. You know, you can't trust nothing. Not even like, because it came out not too long ago that even a lot of the forensic evidence shit isn't, you know, like the teeth thing that they always put people in, like they did that with what's his name on his teeth. I think it was Domino. Not Domino. Who's the one they got for his teeth? The other dude, Bundy. The main thing they got him on was the print of his teeth. And then it came out like a couple of years ago that stuff isn't really legit. That it's not like a fingerprint. You really can't tell by a print of the teeth. So I don't know. And then that made me stop watching Forensic Files because I was like, damn, a lot of this shit is bullshit. It really is a lot of the times them trying to find a way to make it go the way they want to say it went. So what they'll do is they'll hook it up different ways. You know, like if they want to look at blood splatter, they'll hit the head from this side, that side, the other side, you know, like some sort of thing that's like a head. And then when it shows the result they want, they'll say that that's the result. That's the only result you can get.
You just reminded me of every science fair project I had as a school kid.
You did shit like that with like blood splatter and shit like that?
Yeah, I did do a project on blood spatter, and they wanted
It's a little dark.
It was like, okay, what like surface is this gonna travel the furthest on, or something stupid like that. And the thing with science fairs, they always wanted it to be so like proper and like good, and we couldn't afford like anything for science fair. And I remember the judges asking me about everything. I didn't even do the project. I just made up numbers, and I was just like pulling stuff out of my ass to make it make sense, and they were fine with it.
And yet you found another use for the booty hole. My science project
sounds a lot like real science.
The only science project I ever did, I took 2 mice. I bought 2 mice, and the project was I left one with heavy metal music playing all the time, and I had another one in another room with classical music playing all the time to see how they would react. It's a very original experiment. Not original at all, but I also didn't do it. I wasn't going to torture these animals, so I just said I did it, and then I came up with a whole bunch of things that this one's a little more aggressive, this one bites, the other one comes and crawls right into my hand, you know. Came up with all kinds of crazy shit, and then the project ended, and 3 weeks later I had 37 mice.
Oh, no.
They were supposed to both be boys, but one was a girl. I remember the first batch was born. I was so excited, and then the father just started eating them, and I was horrified. I've had a lot of horrific moments in my life because I was like, like what the fuck is he doing?
We have a comment. It says Samuel Garcia says, "My school didn't let me believe in science. Thanks, Dad."
That's my son, by the way. What's up, Samuel? I'm glad you're here, man.
Sounds
Love
like
you,
he
bro.
had a great education.
He sounds like he got a great education. Nah, man. The school he went to, they let them take retests like a motherfucker. Nobody failed. If you fail the test, they give it to you again.
He went to school in New York?
Yeah, private.
Yeah.
He went to a private school. And then he also went to a school that he couldn't have learned much. You know, I helped to start it. It was like me, his mom's, this pastor, his wife, and like maybe 4 other people. And we started like a little red schoolhouse thing. And we started, my kid was in there for a year. And then we were like, we got to get him the fuck out of the school that we helped create because this shit ain't working. And he went back to the other school.
Wow. You're like someone's Amish grandpa in the wrong body.
I made fireplaces for a while, too.
He built the chairs that you're sitting on.
These chairs
They're
suck.
very uncomfortable. Yeah.
Very
Notice the
uncomfortable.
tape.
These chairs, thank you for noticing. And here's the thing, though. I gave you the good one because this one right here, this is the one that's in the room. And this one, like, sinks in right when you sit on it because Matt sat on this one and fucking crushed it. Yeah, Matt sat on that one, too. Matt broke all my chairs, man. That motherfucker owe me money. Fucking suck. I should go back to him and say I need that money for my chairs. Remember those chairs you broke 3 years ago?
Yeah, with interest, too.
With interest. Exactly, man. Mm-hmm. I'm going to need 4 new chairs, and they're going to have to swivel.
So you're thinking about refurnishing your new place whenever that comes through, or are you going to
No.
keep some of the stuff? Are you going to buy
I'm
anything
going to take
new?
all my stuff, and whatever I can't fit, then I won't take. But, nah, man, I'm broke, man. I got to make the move. I'm barely able to make the move, man. Whatever. I'll make it. I'll be all right. Everything always comes up G.
That's true.
I heard there's some free apartments available in Astoria.
Exactly.
It's a house. You can move into a whole house.
A whole house. Yeah, I mean, I'm very close to just destroying my Social Security and saying I snuck in here.
Well, dude, you don't even need to destroy your own Social Security number.
Just say
Just
I
go
don't have
in.
one.
No tienes papeles. Dame. That's it. That's all you got to say. That's actually what they tell you on
I'll
the
go in
Homeland
and I'll
Security
be like,
website.
yeah, I'll go in and be like, I don't speak English. And they'll start talking Spanish to me. And I'll be like, I don't speak the Spanish either. What do you speak? Okay? Okay?
Okay. Huh?
Fucking insane, man. Oh, by the way, man, the last episode we had, we were talking about this earlier. Best want to bring it up to the followers. Is we were talking about Candace Owen, and I was saying how I had her back, man. I think we should be supporting the people who fight the good fight, the people that aren't, whether you agree with them or not, but they're saying what they want to say. And no sooner than we do that podcast, they fire her 2 days later from Daily Wire.
Coincidence?
I don't know, but I know that I canceled my subscription.
Good.
I canceled my subscription, man. You know, fuck it. And I'm hoping, in all honesty, and I still like Michael Knowles. I still like Matt. But I'll catch him on YouTube. I'm not gonna pay for a subscription that's gonna go against somebody who's talking. I thought that's what I thought that's what they were about, freedom of speech. But apparently not.
And what did I tell you, Gary?
Well, I don't remember. You tell me a lot of things. What are we looking at over here?
I think the camera died.
Which one? Yours?
I don't know if it overheated. It's all right. You can keep talking on.
Whatever. Well, listen, people. What's the holiday coming up? What's the next holiday other than Easter? Because I'm not going to promote it for Easter. Memorial Day, man. If you're looking for a great gift to buy that special person you love for Memorial Day, go to XXXPlayground.com and get yourself the XXX Playground board game. It's only the best communication tool ever made for couples. 2 to 8 players. Get fist deep in someone you love with a roll of the dice. XXX Playground, one of our proud sponsors.
XXX Playground, the game.
The
I'm
game.
so glad I missed the opportunity to say Mother's Day is the next holiday.
Is that it? Is it Mother's
Yeah.
Day?
It's always like May 16th or something, right?
All right, for Mother's Day. You know?
No!
Maybe your mother might be looking for that groove back. Get your
Mothers
mama
don't need groove.
Get your mama her groove back. with Triple X Playground, the board game, man. You know, she could play with her church members. And if you're looking to support the podcast, man, go to briantlacata.com/shop.
That's right.
Yeah, man, and buy some drip, some Rated G drip, man. Get yourself the Round Earth Skeptic shirt. Get yourself some Rated G shirts, man, hats. We got them all over there, man. Come and support the show. And if you haven't already, like it. Even if you don't like us, just like it. Does it really hurt you to help a brother out? You know what I'm saying? Does it really hurt you to help us in the algorithms?
I don't think it does, and I think you should do it.
Subscribe and like. You know, even though I prefer a lot of people just watch and like don't subscribe and like, I feel like that will keep us under the radar a little longer.
It'll keep us well under budget also.
Not if they're going to briantlacata.com/shop.
That's true.
There you go.
That's true.
You know, but I'd rather fly under the radar. Do we have comments over there? Because it looks like we do.
Just got one.
Oh, at Gary, buy from
Habitat for Humanity and refurbish. Same for the furniture.
Nah, man, I'm keeping my furniture, man. What's wrong with my furniture? All I need is new chairs.
And Michelle says, hi, everyone. Love you.
Michelle, what's up, mama? How are you? Hope your daughter's doing well. And your grandchild. Hope they're doing well. I hope it's growing inside that belly. And when is she due? When is my grandchild due? Do you know? Did she tell us?
No, I'm not sure. I really don't know.
Oh, I'm sure she'll let us know right now. You know. And if you're in Atlantic City, man, come down to AC Jokes, man, at Resorts. And soon we'll be opening up in Claridge on the 26th. April 26th, we'll be opening up the show at the Claridge. And we got, who do we got down there that time? Sherrod Small. Sherrod Small is going to be doing the first show over there at the Claridge. So come check us out. Tonight it's me, Buddha, and Shannon. And we had a great show last night, man. I'm excited for tonight. Even though tonight there's a lot of competition.
Michelle says, still waiting for my grandchild's baby onesie that you were going to make. Sorry. Yeah, Michelle, we'll get on that. And July 14th.
All right, cool. July, baby. Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Those are the best
It's
lines.
going to be born. Are you born in July?
Yeah, and most of my family.
Really?
My extended family can cover almost every single day in July.
Huh.
Really?
We count America in that, though.
So
You don't think it's weird that your family has like a certain time?
Well,
where they're
seasonal depression
highly...
starts in October. I think it makes perfect sense.
sounds
because-
like it was family reunion. Did it at the same time every year.
No, our family reunion's in August.
in August. But when would when would that have been
October?
conceived?
No, it's October, yeah.
It's October.
October. Oh, because you guys stay in for Halloween. You don't celebrate Halloween, so
I mean,
instead
my
of going out for
extended
Halloween,
family isn't
they
that
pop-
religious.
Ah.
They're everyone's like believers, but no one's like very religious. It's really just my dad. But no, I mean, seasonal depression can kick in October. I think that's a good reason.
So they wind up getting busy in October.
Yeah, you just want a
It
distraction.
starts to get cold a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Especially in upstate New York. October, it snows sometimes.
yeah. So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, me and my brother were both born in June, and not far apart, 13 and 18.
Yes, you guys were
The same year.
September.
So my pops definitely had sex twice with my moms. I feel like it was a yearly thing.
That's possible.
I'm starting to feel like it was a yearly thing now that I think about it and shit. Oh, we got some tickets sold for tonight. It's going to be a good show. I'd be looking at how many tickets we sell like it's the stock market. All day long, I just keep going back. All right.
But then it can go back down.
Stock market can, but
Not the
our
tickets.
The tickets kind of stay where they are. That's the good thing. But it gives me anxiety because now all I do is keep looking and looking and looking. You know, Brian, you fidgety fuck. What's
Yeah, I
going
think
on
your
over there?
generation is actually the worst about the phones. You guys love looking at phones.
You think us?
Yeah. Yeah, because you guys didn't grow up with them. You have no idea how to moderate your use.
I actually think that's 100. I think that's the first thing you said that I disagree with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. I just feel
I
like
think your generation definitely is on on the phone more than my generation.
We use them more, but I think your generation is more like obsessive with them. Like you guys love like, oh, here's my laptop. Like, let me check Facebook. Let me check like the news. I feel like I know so many people who are like in their 50s, 60s who have like news.
Do not even
streaming
put me in
all
the
the time.
She lumped me up with the 60-year-olds.
You're only 11 years younger than my mom. Not even. I think you're 9 years younger than my mom.
I mean, I don't mind that, but I'm
8
just
years.
saying.
8 years.
It gets lower and lower, yo. What's going on here?
No,
But I'm
I
just
just
saying,
mean I feel
think
like
my generation really don't give a shit about that. In fact, I didn't even get a phone until 10 years ago.
I didn't get a phone until like 7 years ago.
But was it because you couldn't afford the phone
Yes.
or you didn't want the phone?
We could not afford a phone.
See, for me, it was different. I didn't want it.
I don't want it now that I have it.
I saw everyone arguing in the streets and like
Yeah.
always. I didn't want it. It wasn't until I started doing comedy where people were like, "Dude, I wanted to give you a thing and I couldn't get in touch with you." And I was like, "But I got an email." And they were like, "No,
Yeah.
dude, you got to get a phone."
That's true. I did. I would go back to a flip phone if it weren't for comedy. I had all my social media deleted before comedy.
And the only thing I go on is Instagram to post shit, and that's linked to everything else. So once I
Yeah.
post it to Instagram, it goes to everything else. So I don't really
I'm
stay
gonna
on that
agree
shit.
with you on this one.
No,
Yeah.
man, what do you know? You're not
no.
my generation either. His generation's probably on the
We're
phone.
the same
a lot.
don't-
generation.
Well, no, you're older.
Thereabouts. Yeah, a little
I'm
bit.
33.
I feel like what it is maybe is that everyone knows
generation
someone
is that?
from your generation. He's a millennial. I'm on the border. But everyone knows someone from your generation.
Come on in. Everyone's coming in now.
Yeah, they'll let him keep you back.
Who's like too intense about keeping up with everything, you know, like there's always some 50-year-old in everyone's life who's like obsessed with having all of their devices on all the time so they don't miss a beat.
I don't know anyone like that.
I
do. Yeah, I know several people, even in my family, that are big, online, users.
but
they're
I
just
think
on
my
the
family's
phone.
gone through phases of it for sure. I do have specific people coming. I'm holding grudges, to be honest. I'm fighting this fight because of some grudges I am holding against older people that I have known. But
Oh, who? Let's name them. Name names. Family? Relatives? Friends?
no, I was dating a guy who was 33 at the time, who still lived with his mom. I mean, that should have been my sign. But his mom would have the television on, her phone on, her tablet streaming, and a second tablet, all on different news sites all the time,
I don't even understand
all
the
playing
purpose of the
very
tablet.
loudly. Just
I don't even
just
understand
one
the
more way
purpose
of
of the
having it
tablet.
streaming.
Yeah, I don't.
She wanted all the news outlets, all the liberal news outlets playing all the time.
No, that's a nut.
But there's a lot of them. Everyone goes through phases. They have to get themselves out of it.
Yeah, like I'll get caught up maybe once in a while. I get caught up on YouTube more than anything.
I'm
the
never
quick
on
things.
YouTube.
That's the only thing I get caught up on every now and then. But like I don't really go on it. I go on Instagram maybe once a day just to kind of look at the people who follow me. So I look at the pictures, I like them and stuff like that, and then I get off. I'm not really on there much.
Themore says something. 9/11 syndrome. Is that related to what we're talking about today?
I don't know what that is, but that sounds like it's related to what we're talking about today. Yeah, because you had to. You
Oh,
were
so in
all
other
over the
words,
news.
so
That was
now-
a moment in American history where people trusted the news a lot. They loved the news at that point, and now
It's
yeah,
funny
they
'cause
got
that's
into the
actually
habit
the
of it.
moment where I stopped trusting my government, even though I never really fully trusted them, but I completely stopped trusting them at that point. Just the way everything was going down, and I knew something was up. It just didn't seem right. You know what I'm saying? Like everything just seemed weird. And then once this shit happened with the COVID, I was like, yeah, that's it. They're not even trying to hide it no more. They're just like right in your face doing shit. Like fuck you.
What's crazy about that?
Like you can't
too-
even say no more. They can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be like, what are you talking about? They're gonna do this. They can't do that. If they've proven anything else, they've proven they can do whatever the hell they want to
Yeah.
do. Now whether or not it'll work is a different story, but they will attempt to do anything they want to do.
I think
know.
it's crazy that every single college graduate who had a degree in like business, finance, anything like that, probably in the whole country had to read How to Lie with Statistics, required course material. And then collectively, we as a country were like, what? Of course, everything's true. There's statistics. And I'm like,
Wait a minute,
We are
wait a minute.
all.
Are you saying you went to college? Did you go to college?
Yeah, I have a degree, mathematical economics.
Woo! Smartest person we've ever had on the show. ever.
Smartest person we've ever had on the show, right?
Clearly, yeah. Unless it was Tommy Chong.
Tommy
He had the
Chong's
most
more
wisdom.
knowledge. He
Yeah,
had the most
wisdom,
wisdom. Yeah, he's older. I didn't even realize how old that motherfucker was. I didn't realize he was 40 when I first started getting into him. When I was young, that's crazy. Wasn't he in his 80s? In the 80s, right?
Yeah, I think he might have been 81
When we had him on?
Yeah, it might have been a little bit older.
But okay, so wait, just getting back to that, you said that there's a required course.
yeah, here it is. Here's the
called-
book. No,
How
it's
to
the
Lie
book.
with Statistics. Yeah, this is
By
like
Daryl
very
Huff.
popular reading. It's required in a lot of college business or economics courses. It's very everyone in my family had to read it at some point in their education.
That's insane, actually. I think
And
that's,
it's
that's
very
pretty
easy.
insane.
Yeah, themes of the book include correlation, doesn't imply causation, and using random sampling. Like that's when they do. We called 1,000 random people, and now they say, say they have 1,000 people, 50% goes one way, 50% goes the other way. Then they say 50% of America thinks this, and they're
Yeah.
legally allowed to put it down.
Wow. Insane.
The more you know.
What year was you in college? What years were you in college?
2016 to 2020. So I graduated into Corona.
Now, would you say that when you were in college that you felt like there was an agenda being pushed, a certain agenda?
I hold a lot of grudges against my college, and I think overall, for me, it was a very bad experience of just living in a narrative. So I felt that way. I don't think all colleges are like that, but I went to a liberal arts college on Staten Island. It's a very small little pod in its own world.
And the proof is in the name, liberal college. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think they're all like that, but I do think for mine in particular, there's a
think
lot of
good
people that
percentage.
could buy their way into it. Like I was a scholarship kid, and then there's all these people, because it was also known for theater. So there's all these people that kind of like bought their way into the theater program from these New England families, in New England. New England loves itself. New England is the worst. That's all I'll say on that.
I'll stand with you there.
Yeah.
I hate New England. I don't like Old England either.
Yeah.
But New England sucks even worse.
Wait a
I
minute,
mean,
there
it's
is an old, there's
beautiful.
an old England, New England. Now, where is this? Because I've never been there.
New England is like it's
It's the
Massachusetts.
northeastern corner of the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, pretty much when you get past, I don't know,
It's like
Yonkers.
Yeah, just north of
North
New
of
York
City?
City,
Yeah,
really.
north of-
well, see,
city.
now I'm learning something. I'm
Yeah.
not afraid to say that I have no idea what the fuck y'all are talking
Boston,
about.
Connecticut, New
Boston's like the
Hampshire.
heart of New England, probably,
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
it's a group of states
Yeah.
that you would call New England. Okay.
and it has its redeeming qualities as a land, but not as a culture.
or as a people.
Yeah.
I mean,
They-
how
they
many
sound good.
how many states are lumped into this that you're making a pretty broad
It's like
statement.
New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Maine. So at least 6, and then maybe New York, maybe Pennsylvania, but that's really pushing it.
Yeah, they don't consider that New England. So the states are Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Vermont.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Wow, man, that's fucking interesting.
Yeah.
So you say they suck?
Yeah, well, okay, if I'm going to continue this New England rant, the thing is, people in New England are told their whole lives, they're like, we have the best education system. We are where progress started. We are so much better than other states. And then they meet people from states like Alabama, and they're like, oh, we've been hearing about you. You're the racist state. When was the first time you met a black person? And I'm like, I
The
grew
other
up
day-
in
the
schools
other
that
day
were
my
almost entirely
grandfather's-
black.
Well, the first time I was 5 on my grandfather's cotton field, and I remember my first.
There's 0 black people in Boston. Dude, it's the whitest.
And I had my
city of all
friend
time.
Corn Pop.
That's the crazy thing. It's like, and my family's not even from the South, so like I could sit there and be like, actually, my family's not from there, so I don't know what you're talking about. But I just kind of took it because I was like, well, actually, you guys are absolute idiots. Like, you have no idea. Because I went to schools
I mean,
in the
I liked
South that mostly
Alabama.
were black.
Yeah, right.
And I almost feel I got into a huge
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
argument.
I thought New York had the best education. When I was growing up, I thought we had the best in everything. I thought
When I
thought
went to
America
school in
was number
upstate,
one
I
in
loved
everything.
it.
I thought New York had like the best education. I didn't know we were like ranked 12 or 13 or some shit like that. I thought we had the best. I thought New York, I thought America was the best. And then as I started getting older, I was like looking at different things and going, oh, we're 8th in that. We're 3rd in that. We're 5th in that. We were very rarely first in a lot of things.
I only went to elementary school in New York, but I will say I think the way that my curriculum was really positive, and they did a really good job of incorporating like arts and everything and like really getting kids into education.
Yeah.
So I will say the years that I did spend in New York State, I liked it, but all of my friends after that were like high school sucked, middle school sucked, everything was terrible. We took Regents.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It got to a point where they were just getting you ready for Regents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not real school anymore. My schools in Alabama, I mean, they weren't like the best, but I think they have such a unique culture to them that we had kind of our own like style of learning about the world that I loved. It was crazy. We had the police station at my high school nonstop, but people always said we were a bad school, and then like
Wait,
actually
you mean you had the police going to your high school nonstop, or
they eventually just stationed them out there because we had so many fights. Yeah. But like the thing is, we had fights. We never had like scary things happening. Because in Alabama, it's like people just hit each other when you're kids, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there were so many fights at my school that no one was like... We weren't like, oh, that guy's going to be a school shooter. Because I grew up right when that era was really, like, coming into its prime.
When it was starting to pop off.
Yeah.
Right when it was getting
So what I did there?
right when it was getting fun.
Yeah, right. Sandy Hook was my freshman year of high school. So it really was, like, right when America was starting to get, like, this deep-seated fear and obsession with school shootings. I'm like, that's not... Like, when you are already allowed to beat the shit out of each other with very few repercussions, you kind of get it all out, you know? There's no one with, like, pent-up aggression for the most part. I probably sound stupid right now, but I do sincerely think it made us nicer people overall.
Well, yeah, no, I'm the type of person that said Bullies had a very significant role in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, a good thing came out of it. It sucked while I was going through it, but I believe it's made me into a better person. It's made me
funnier.
It's made me able to deal with situations, you know, get out of situations that probably a lot of people can't. And it also taught me how to take an ass whipping and how to fight a little bit.
Yeah, just how to not be a coward.
Yeah.
Because I think most people, that's their problem.
Yeah.
They live just in total fear all the time.
I mean, look, when COVID was around, there were grandmothers who were like 78, 80 years old, telling their grandkids, don't come and visit me. I mean, how much more months do you need in your life that you might get sick and die, so you don't want... I mean, if I'm in my 80s, I don't give a shit. Come see me. It might be the last day I see you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I like to do the show at least twice a week.
Yeah, man. Because you never know. Too much faith in tomorrow, man. Old people are saying, you know, think about that. Like, you're 80 years old. You're going to tell your grandchildren, no, you're not going to go there for holidays. For what? How many more years do you really got? Even if it's 5 good years.
How many more do you want?
Exactly. Even if you have 5 really good years left. You know, like really good years. Like you're one of those 85-year-olds. You're like, oh, my God, I can't believe you're 85. But really, what does that matter? You know, like, I just don't get it. Me personally, I don't get it. It's like, I didn't take not one day off from seeing my kids. You know what I'm saying? I just went and saw my kids. And the roads were open.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful, man. I will say this, driving in Jersey, like once I hit the highways and stuff, I really feel like it's not much of a difference because it's just always moving. Everything's always moving. There's a lot of cars there that, you know, it's not empty no more, but it hasn't slowed anything really down that much. New York, that Belt Parkway.
The Belt parking lot.
Oh, my God, man. I remember during COVID, man, I'd go on that Belt Parkway. I'd be on it for 3 minutes. Then I get on it.
You didn't realize how short you were actually on that thing for.
Yeah, now I get on it. I'm 3 miles away from where I got to go, and it's telling me 35 minutes, 45 minutes to get there.
It's like if you try to go anywhere on Staten Island, it's like 0.6 miles away, 18-minute drive.
Exactly. It's like horrible, man. They better come quick with the next pandemic to get some of you motherfuckers off the road, yo.
I did have a great time. It was made for someone like me. Yeah,
I mean, listen, remember I said, it also shows you who could, like, handle jail. because people were bugging out just being confined.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people were bugging out just being confined, just being alone. They were bugging out. You know, even rich people, especially, and they were the funniest because they're like, oh my God, you know, this is horrible. And I'm looking, and they got a big mansion, all these crazy rooms. I would have started sleeping in each room. I would have known it would have been my time to go, oh, look, now I could just fucking see what each room feels like. I could actually figure out what room I like the best. Like, I turned this whole place into, like, it looked like a yard. There was just weights and, like, home, like, you know, with phone books on it and shit, like some homemade weights and shit. I had this place fucking, it was the best I ever looked. I was working out every day, cooking for myself. I looked so good, I was taking pictures like this just for myself so I could remember. You know what I'm saying? Just for myself. I'll be like, I want to remember how I look, because I know once I go back into society, I'm not going to look this good.
It's over.
It lasted a month. I still got the remnants. Like, you can see the lines of where the abs used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fossils.
I still got the remnants, man. Yeah, man, but, you know, I did well. You know, I played video games. I think I was trying to win the basketball championship on my PlayStation. I wanted to win 7 times in a row. And I got to like 3.
I think I just like went to the park every day and sat alone in the sun. And I would go home and make coffee, and then I'd go back to the park, and I'd go home and make lunch and go back to the park.
You were loving it, weren't you?
It was fantastic.
I'm telling you, I come out, you're just in there reading. I'm like, you good?
I could be unemployed for my whole life. I don't know why people are like, I need a job to feel important. Yeah. I'm like, I do not.
Well, I think that's one of the big things, too, that happened, was that all those people who said a job makes me feel important, when they shut everything down and they said, you were unessential, what they told everybody is, you're not important. You're not even as important as the Chinese delivery dude. Your job ain't even as important as delivering Chinese food, because they were allowed to work. Isn't that crazy? And then they wonder why people suck at their jobs now, why their heart ain't in it. Because everybody looking at it like it's bullshit.
The service is trash everywhere now. The service
everywhere.
is awful.
Everywhere.
Awful.
And I think there's an attitude of, why the fuck should I care? You know, I think that's just the attitude of everybody, because it's like, even if you work hard and you do well, they could just shut it down.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're not allowed to work.
With service especially, I mean, you're getting young people who graduated into it or were in school during that. So they really are like the heart of, I just do not give a fuck.
They don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
And they don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? They don't care.
I was in when I left here the other night.
Like, even I don't think what I do is that important anymore. But I love doing it, so thank God I love doing it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I don't even feel like, I kind of have that feeling like everybody else, like, what the fuck's important now,
King Hansel says, at Gary, I disagree. I work as a coyote, and it's damn hard bringing all these illegals over. No, dude, I was out.
It's damn hard bringing all these illegals over.
The other night, after our show, I left here at like 10, and I go to a Wawa up by my house, and they have all the self-checkouts now. So after like 8 p.m., everyone just stays in the back. So I'm standing up there at the counter like an asshole because I need to get cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm standing there, and no one comes back, and there's 2 people cooking. They both see me, but they just stay cooking because they're not the cashier.
Yeah.
Then there's 2 ladies that I see that are in the doorway to the kitchen. They see me, and then they hide, right? So then I say to the guy behind the counter, I'm like, yo, you got anybody working the cashier? And he's like, there's no one up there? And I'm like, would I ask you if there was somebody up here?
Or you could have just said no.
No, I said, would I ask you?
I know what you said, but go ahead.
So then he goes to get somebody, and then as soon as he walks back to get somebody, I just walked out of the store.
Little 5-finger discount?
No, I mean, I couldn't get the cigarettes. Yeah, I just went. I bought them. I bought them the next day. I couldn't get them. Well, I'm not going to reach up behind the counter. I mean, if it was a Twix or some other shit, I would have. Yeah, it would have been gone. But I just left, and now I'm never going to go back to that Wawa.
Whenever I go into a Wawa and it's after 2 o'clock in the morning, they stay in the back. I'll make a coffee. I'll look at the person. They'll see me with a coffee, and they'll go, just go. That's why I always go to that Wawa on my way home. They go, just go. They don't want to come from behind that counter at all. They don't want to work.
I think by and large, most employees with like jobs that do not have specific requirements, they don't care if their boss is making money. Like, they would rather just give you a discount one way or another if it's less work for them. I'm that way. I work one
not
day a
gonna
week
lie,
at a
man.
normal job, and that's kind of how I am.
With Bidenomics, I have become a fan of self-checkout. I've become a fan of self-checkout because, I make sure I always get paid for my hour of service. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I got to do that for 5 minutes, it's like anything else. Once I'm doing it for 5 minutes, you got to pay me for the whole hour. You know what I'm just saying? There's a good chance that, a couple of items don't come out the bottom of the bag and stay there. And, I can't help it nowadays. I always look at it as a score. Like, how much can I get a score? Today I got a rotisserie chicken. It tastes better when you know you didn't pay for it.
It is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
I
good.
can't lie, though, man. Fuck them. I'm like, fuck them. If all you're going to have is me checking myself out, you're not even going to give me a fucking bag. You know what I'm saying? You're not even giving me a bag.
I'm with you, dude. I'm
checking
100%
myself
way
out.
with you
If
on
you
this.
think I'm going to pay $12 for mac and cheese just because it's delicious, it's even more delicious when it just stays in the bottom of my bag. Sorry to tell you, I pay for 3/4 of my shit. 3/4 of my shit. I feel 25% is my employee discount.
Yeah, but the thing is that 25% isn't a 25% of the actual bill because that's 25% of the items he's not checking out or 60% of the bill. And that, my friend.
3 weeks ago,
Yeah,
I
nice.
got a case of fucking cat food. Had it on the bottom of the cart.
No, I
Must-
got
I
caught
must have
stealing
forgot.
one time when I was 18, and I haven't tried again.
What did you steal?
It was a sports bra.
How did you get caught and how did you try to steal it?
I just wore it, and then this
didn't know
lady
about the
was
tag?
like, it didn't have the tag on it, but this lady was like, I think you had something pink when you walked in there, and yeah, it's just like, I was so sincere because every time I do anything bad, I get caught immediately. That's like my life's shtick.
I don't think you're good at it. That's what it is.
No,
I
but
think you
even
show
if it's
it.
harmless.
I think you probably walked out. It was like,
No, but it's not even like that. It's
Like
not like I get caught
slow.
by humans. It's like God smites me if I do something bad. Every time. There was one time I got drunk in college. This is a chapter of my book. I'm going to plug myself. I'm going to publish the book this year. It's already written. There was one time I got drunk in college, and then I went to church the next morning like a good person. Just kidding. You're still good if you don't go to church.
I used to go to church drunk, like still fucked up from the night before.
I walked
Just
in.
because I fucking slipped don't mean I shouldn't get the word.
No, you're right. I walked in. I wasn't drunk anymore. I was a little nauseous. I walked into the side entrance. My priest was right there. Immediately vomited in front of him. Immediately.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
That's just every time I do anything bad, that's how it goes.
How old are you?
I was 20, I think.
Not so bad.
Yeah,
Do you think
but like
were
that's
you
that's
nervous
the
that
thing.
like he was gonna know, or were you just hangover? Was it a hangover?
I don't think it was a hangover. I think I shouldn't have had because I mixed it with fruit juice, whatever I was drinking the night before, and I think it just left me kind of nauseous, But I wasn't getting hangovers at that point. I never really drank that much anyways, so like I don't really know what to title any feeling pertaining to it. But yeah, it's just always like that. No matter what I do, it doesn't matter if it's a person that catches me or not. God makes sure that I feel it. God, whatever you want to call him, I can't get away with anything.
It's like what was that movie? It's like Crime and Punishment.
I haven't seen it.
No, it's not a movie. It's a book actually. Crime and Punishment.
Crime and punishment.
Right, Dostoevsky.
Punishment and crime.
I think so. Yeah, Dostoevsky.
Dostoevsky.
Yeah,
That's how you say it in Puerto Rican.
Those,
yeah.
whatever.
All right, I'll read it.
It's a great book, man. Actually, here, take it.
Thank you.
really
I love
read it.
books.
Yeah, and I love passing on books, so I'm getting ready to move. So
Amazing.
it's a great book, but it's kind of like in a way what you said. It's about it's about, I don't want to because you got it now, but it's about like the perfect murder.
Mm-hmm.
How do you create the perfect murder? And now you got to read. I can't go too much
And
into
he
it.
gets caught
But-
for it
but it's
anyways,
the thing
right?
Of like, yeah, like it's like
I think there are just people like that. Like there's people that just weren't meant to do bad things. And I'm kind of grateful that I always get caught for it because it's been like that since I was a child. Like I just feel like no matter what, there's one time I didn't want to eat boxed macaroni and cheese because my mom never made me anything boxed. And I went to a friend's house. She made me something boxed. It was repulsive. I could not
I wouldn't
bear
eat it.
to look
Yeah,
at
I wouldn't
it.
eat it.
Yeah. So I spilled a little of my juice in it so that I could be like, I spilled it. I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm not hungry. I really don't want any dinner. I'm really not hungry. So I don't mind that I spilled it. You could just take it away. And my friend told on me. I was like,
Rat.
this was the smallest offense I could have ever committed just because this food repulses me. I tried to be polite about it, and then I got in trouble for it. Her mom was really mad at me, and I hated parents being mad at me. I wasn't like
Such
a pleaser. I just was a good kid. Like
It's nothing wrong with that.
I
took
like
a lot of slack
never
for
really
that.
went out of my way, like especially if someone like gave me rules or orders, I would never follow them. But my parents never did that, so it was never a problem for me.
I remember
knew how
I
to
didn't
behave.
like if I didn't like what was being fed to me, which was 90% of the time.
Was it vegetables?
Yeah, all kinds of vegetables or whatever, and it would be there, and
I
they
think
would
you
tell
meant
me.
like fed information, like what sort of
No,
information
no,
was fed to you?
food.
That too.
But like I was always the last one to leave the table because I grew up at a time you're not leaving that table until you eat the food.
Yeah.
And then what happened was I'd be sitting there for hours, man, sometimes. And I got tired of sitting there. So what I started doing was I started keeping like a sandwich baggie in my pocket. And I was little. And I would, when they go in the room, because they're not going to sit there out, after the first hour, they go in the room. You're not getting up. And then they go in the room. I would take the food, scrape it into the bag, and I would put that in my cat's house. The cat had like this igloo house. And then I would go there later and try to, sneak it in the garbage. But then I got lazy because I got away with it a lot. That's what happens when you get away with shit. You start to get lazy. So I would forget to get the food. So it came to a while where I was just throwing bags of food in there. And then one day, my father and mother in the living room, and the cat can't get into the house. It's sitting there going, meow, meow. My father's like, what the fuck is wrong with the cat? And when they looked, it was just filled with bags of old food. My father put it on a plate and said, you're going to eat that shit now.
No.
Yeah, he did. And I said, I didn't eat it when it was good. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it was good for me, I didn't eat it. You think I'm going to eat that now? I said, I'm not eating that. He goes, you're not leaving that table till you eat it. I don't care if you're here all fucking week. And I just sat there. And then my mother let me sit there for like an hour, and she was like, Gary, you're not eating that. I said, I'm not eating it. Like, I didn't eat it when it was good. What makes you think that now it's all combined and mixed and old that I'm going to eat it?
I was best friends with kids that hated their vegetables because we couldn't afford vegetables sometimes. Once in a while, mostly in 2008, and so my friends would always give me their vegetables.
Were you like trailer?
No. My mom is very good my family overall is very good at making poor look classy. Because my mom, she'll like get furniture off the side of the street, refurbish it.
It's like we didn't have money, but I never went without.
Right.
You
like
know what I'm saying?
there's a class to being poor. There's like, I think my theory is there's new poor and there's old poor. And if your family's just been poor forever and they don't really have like roots or anything, that's like when you're okay with looking poor. But if your family is like not necessarily, like if your parents came from money, my parents came from middle class families and then they were
That's
poor.
the problem. There's no middle class anymore.
Yeah, there's none.
That's the problem.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's everything's way too expensive now.
Yeah, to be middle class, there is none. It's either you're broke or you have money to deal
Isn't
with
that
things.
crazy? Yeah. Because for me, I think of like $80,000 a year, and I'm like, that's amazing. And everyone
Yeah,
I know
it's
who I
not, yo.
consider middle class, they're like, I make like $200,000. I'm like, what do you do with it all? I can't fathom what you would do with $200,000 in a year.
Yesterday we did well on tips.
We did.
I went to the store. Do you know what I left with? I had $5 this morning. And then that was gone the minute I went and got 2 coffees.
Yeah, that's crazy. See,
That's
I don't buy it.
And we did well on tips. It was like, what did I buy yesterday? I bought toilet paper. I bought paper towels.
Yeah,
I
just
bought little
necessities.
three cans of cat food, a little thing of milk. And what else?
You should have went through the self-checkout.
And the cookies. They don't have self-checkout there.
Well, you went
Smart.
to the wrong store.
They're Spanish, dude. Boom. Boom knows what they're dealing with, though. They're like, we're not letting these people check this shit out themselves. What are you, insane? They don't play around over there, man.
I got a couple comments, couple questions for Shannon. The first one is Themore76 says, better aim next time. This is in reference to you puking. Got to get the shoes of the priest, at least.
I would never do that to Father Shraplow.
Was he wearing red shoes?
I don't know. Do priests wear red shoes?
The ones.
It's Episcopal, so it's different.
The ones who were down with the Illuminati wear the red shoes.
I don't think my church was high enough status. It's like a failing Episcopal church on Staten Island.
Well, the church I started the school with, we were in the back of a building in the projects, in like the basement. And we had a congregation too. We had at least like maybe 100 people. And we had like 50 students. It was crazy. I don't know who the hell would send their parents. And the school was in the building as well.
And you charged them for school?
Yeah, of course. We had to. You had to pay the teachers and shit.
Yeah.
Who weren't at all, none of them. I think my ex-wife was a teacher. I don't even think I think she had a GED. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but how hard is it to like, if you're teaching them the basics, which is really all they need to learn, you know, reading, writing, arithmetic, and all that shit. Once you get into the whole physicists and all that shit, you know, whatever, you could read it kind of.
Did you just compare algebra to physics?
I don't know, physics and all that shit. You know, all those. Once you start getting into all those other shit.
Once there's letters in the math, that's
once there's letters in the
The
math.
algebra is like the most basic. It's like the platform for higher math, but it's not itself a higher math.
You know what's so funny is
not in my
I
opinion.
probably know algebra in like theory and concept.
Yeah.
In other words, I probably use it all the day. Like I could probably figure out what Y is when I don't realize that I'm looking for Y.
But sometimes
You understand what I'm saying? Like
You
I
use
could,
it every time you're like, okay, we have this many tickets sold, we're making this much profit, and then we made this much tips. Algebra.
Yeah. And even when you try to predict or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I probably use it more, but like if I'm looking at it and I got to look at the line, it goes like this and try to figure out why when there's an N in front of there or something else, I never understood it.
You had bad teachers.
That's the funny thing. I said that one time during a teachers conference, and we were doing a show, and the whole place was teachers. And I was like, I used to think I was a bad student. I wasn't. I just had bad teachers.
That's true.
Because the teacher's job is to connect with me. It's not my job to connect with them. Because I'll tell you this, I didn't really understand fractions at all. You know, eighths, quarters, pounds. I didn't understand that shit at all until I started hustling. Once I started hustling and I had to get a scale, next thing I knew there was 16
Your teacher
ounces in a
should've just-
pound, 28 grams. I knew there was 28 grams in an ounce. I knew a half ounce was 4. You know what I'm saying? Like I started to understand it because it was like
your teacher
picked
should have
up
fronted
on it.
you a quarter pound. That would have started everything.
my teacher should have got me a scale and a brick.
Yeah.
You know, I would have known all that shit in 1 kilo.
The question here we have for you is, can we get your best Heckler story? That's what the crowd wants to know.
Is that really a question?
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
Oh
Female
my God.
76.
It was so early on in comedy. And okay, if you've been watching this, you have a sense of my personality. I'm just not a spiteful person, really. And I used to have this joke about someone who, the joke isn't specifically about someone who fell in love with me, but I wrote it because of someone who caught feelings for me. And I very strongly was like, I'm not interested, and it became just a problem. And I have this joke where I used to auction off my womb. Gary's familiar with it
Great
because
joke.
my mom told me that I should use comedy to market my womb. And basically, what I said is, do I hear over 5'8"? Do I hear not a Jew? Which is a joke mostly about New York City only being mostly Jews, but also a joke about the person who caught feelings for me, who I very strongly had told in every way, like, please just drop it. And then the next line is, do I hear not a DJ? So, like, it's very clearly, like, meant to be lighthearted. It's not like, oh, Jews and DJs, that's my beef with the planet, you know?
Which, by the way, most DJs are Jewish.
I don't think I've met a Jewish DJ.
Really?
Yeah.
I
But
don't think I met a Jew that wasn't a DJ.
You gotta get out to Brooklyn more.
I would never.
I think my Jewish boss used to DJ.
I got to the not a Jew part, and it was a sold out Saturday night. I had done this joke like 60 times. It always did well, which statistically in New York means I did it in front of plenty of Jews that knew that it was a joke. And this guy, this grown man, he was like 45. His name, I remember it. It was Reuben Goldstein. The most Jewish, I know it because he left his credit card there. And
If anyone's going to get offended by that, it's Reuben Goldstein.
yeah, he started screaming, "You K-word hating bitch!" But he didn't filter it. Obviously, he just said the K-word, which I won't say because I didn't know at the time that it was a slur. So I just told everyone what he said.
K-word.
Anyways, it's you know the K word
In reference to
Jews.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought you were saying in reference to you. I was like, what?
No. He was like, you K-word hating bitch. And he was screaming at me. And I got so excited because I was like, oh my God, this is my first real heckle. I was like 6 months into comedy. And I told everyone on the stage, I was like, ladies and gentlemen, this is my first time offending someone. Give it up for me. I'm becoming a man tonight. I was so happy about it. I was like, guys, we have an offended DJ in the corner over there. I made a joke out of it. I was elated. And then I got off stage. I was like, thank you so much, everybody. This has been a great night. I got off stage and immediately was soaked in soda or something because he threw a drink at me and he got kicked out because, you know, Kenny was the man back then. So Kenny doesn't fuck with anything. And he got kicked out and a bunch of the audience members came up to me and they were like, are you okay? And I was in the best mood. I was like, this is fantastic. I had a drink thrown at. I'm like a real comedian. 6 months in, I know that this is my calling. I've done what I came here to do.
The dude who got kicked out, am I correct in thinking that a couple of comics might have went out there with him after that?
Yeah, I think so. And he was with his dad, too.
Yeah,
his, elder dad.
I kind of heard that story, but we'll end it at the dude got kicked out.
Did he get...
We'll end it at the dude got kicked out. You know, listen, you're a good girl. That's probably why they didn't tell you.
It is funny.
It
I
broke your
really
heart.
do. I have attracted like some of the most violent hecklers. Like it's a thing. I don't do it so much anymore. I think I've become a little more just like candid on stage. But I think if I'm like too innocent, because I've seen a lot in the world. I'm not like actually innocent, but my mom is like that too. Like she's a crisis counselor at the biggest homeless shelter in the state for a very long time. Like she's seen everything, but she just comes off as like this very naive, like ditzy blonde woman. So people never take her seriously. And I think because I have a similar effect, in just my mannerisms and everything, people do get like very offended.
Yeah,
and it's always middle-aged men.
Look, anyone can get offended, but I honestly couldn't even think of why anyone would be violent toward you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because even when you're up there, you're just like so nice, and like even when like you fucking was my house host for the midnight show. You dealt with all kinds of comedians. I mean, all kinds of crowds, rowdy crowds, cool crowds, sleeping crowds. And it's like, I just couldn't understand how anyone would even try to be violent. You're always so cool, even when you're not doing good. Like when they're not even connecting, you're like, it's okay. You'll tell them, like, you don't, because most comedians will be like, you guys suck. Mm-hmm. Most comedians will be like, you know, it's the crowd. What are you guys fucking asleep? You know, what do you take a fucking Xanax? But you'll be like, it's okay, don't worry about it. We'll find something to connect on. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I can't even understand how that dude did that. That was fucking ridiculous. But
Well,
I've always said I wanted to be like, I always wanted to like run a show where they were like, yo, dude, don't go in there and heckle, because the comics in the back are known to drag hecklers out. Like the comics will drag you out and stomp you for shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
I always wanted to like run a club like that.
I feel like I've always had like a team of people in my life that are just men that would beat the hell out of anyone. I feel like that's always been a presence in my life. So I've always felt very safe.
Especially if they know you. Especially if they know you. You know what I'm saying? Because if they know you, they know, first of all, if someone's being aggressive to you, we know you didn't start that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just know it. There's certain people, like, if you see someone going at them, you're like, this person's being, you know, someone's being aggressive to that person, not the other way around. You know what I'm saying?
King Handel says Shanon woke up and chose violence.
Chose violence. I am entertained by it, but I don't opt for it. I would intervene if I saw a situation that I could. I do intervene on I get myself into so much trouble on McDougal Street.
Are you the type of chick, you with your man, he starts getting to beef, you get between them? Or you try to pull him away?
Yeah, there was one time on McDougal Street. No, I always...
You never pull your man away, never get between him. Because what's going to happen is...
No, I get between. I don't pull away, but I will jump in front of someone.
Because then what'll happen is the dude will try to hit your man, who'll hit you, and now it's on. And then you get those women who try to pull their man away, and then he gets snuffed. Just let your man handle his business.
I have been in very few relationships with violent people, but But I feel like on McDougal Street, because there's a lot of instigators on McDougal Street, I see what's happening. And then there's drunk kids that don't know about McDougal Street, you know?
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing.
They don't know
and
about
so
the block
people try and
boys.
egg them on, and I will jump in front of the drunk kid every time and be like, you guys got to stop. Like, this kid, and I'll tell the kid, I'll be like, you don't know what you're getting into.
I've
like, you don't know
actually
who
seen you
these
do that.
people are.
I mean, that's
I've
a little
done it.
different, but yeah. I've seen you intervene to not let it get to a point where it was like getting violent. I've seen you do that for sure.
There's exactly one time I intervened where I shouldn't have, but it still turned out fine. And the person who was threatening the person that I jumped in front of, which is someone I ended up dating eventually, died immediately after. He died like 2 days later. Wow. Unrelated. I was like, see, God has my back.
Unrelated. Yeah, don't fuck
He was
around.
trying to pull out a switchblade, and then, he went to go get the rest of the boys, and the boys were like, you're being an idiot. And so he didn't have any backup, and he had to drop it. And then I never saw him again. And I was like, did he just stop coming around because his boys stopped respecting him? And no, he died. I was like,
He got killed.
no, he was kind of old. I mean, he was probably like
there's some old block boys
50,
there.
aging poorly. You know.
Yeah, there's a lot of old block boys out there.
Yeah, I would imagine it was drug related. But yeah, I mean, I felt pretty validated. I was like, I didn't want him to die. We used to be friends, but like that's his fault. He did that to himself.
You're not wrong.
Cold-hearted.
I'm just a very big
Shannon
believer in the
Seymour
universe keeping tabs on everyone.
Cold-hearted.
Themore says Shannon Karate.
Yeah, you will get smite, dog. Think twice before you fuck with Shannon, man. You'll get smited.
Themore, also another question for you, Shannon. What is your take on woke jokes?
I mean, they're usually not funny, but it's because you can only make so many of the same pattern. You know?
Yeah,
Fair assessment.
but you're right. It's usually not funny.
Yeah.
Like if it
And
was
it's
funny,
also, it does suck
I've
too.
heard woke jokes that were funny, but predominantly they're just not funny.
I hate it because they usually are alienating someone. And maybe they're alienating someone because they're trying to defend someone else. But, like, usually it does end up just kind of making the audience feel a little weird, you know? Especially if you're doing jokes about men. Like, yeah, men suck. We all know that. As a world, we're aware. You guys do some bad things. But if you're doing jokes about it and you're really leaning into it and it's not that funny, like you're losing half the audience. You're losing half the sky.
I don't know how I get away with a lot of the stuff I say with not
Because
having
you're
them all.
funny.
Yeah, but it's still like sometimes because I tend to look very right.
Yeah, you do.
know? Although I'm not, but I
I
tend
think
to
you look
look
very,
it's-
you don't care.
Well, no, it's the way in which you say stuff that is incorrect. That sounds like it's correct. That makes people go, yeah, I guess he's right.
I don't know. I always said I was just short and adorable.
Oh. No, I thought you meant right politically.
That's what I meant, right?
Oh, yeah.
I meant like I look like I lean right politically. Like
Yeah.
some people be like, "Oh, he's a right winger."
But you
By
and I
looking
both
at you,
have
bro,
that
I would never-
affectation.
I would
Yeah.
never say that. Like, if I just saw you on the street.
No, I'm talking about if you just saw my show.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely right.
But I'm not. I'm common
He just doesn't like
sense.
being told what to do.
Here's the thing. I'm common sense. I'm sorry if common sense is right.
Yeah,
You said that, not me.
I didn't
Yeah.
say that.
I'm
You said
saying this is common sense. That's all I'm going. You know, all my stuff is always pretty much just if it don't make sense, it don't make sense. So I'm just talking what's common sense.
Right.
I find it funny, however, that when I talk about common sense, people automatically think it's right.
It's because the people on the left are dumb.
See, that's more interesting. That says a lot more
But you
about
know what I
them
think
than
you get
me.
away with it too is because you have some jokes like the monkeypox jokes where the premise is just so ridiculous and so just absurd and stupid that no one can sit there and be like, that's offensive. You know, you're talking, who
It's
is
offensive
fucking
to
all these
monkeys.
monkeys? You know? Like it is just, if you're sitting there and being like, that's offensive, you're just being an idiot yourself.
Or it could be a woman whose husband spends a lot of time at zoos.
With monkeys.
In the monkey cage section, it could be, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe her husband just got busted a couple of weeks ago masturbating in front of the baboon fucking display during the free hours for children. Who knows? I mean, anything could have happened. It's fucking insane. Yeah, people get, I don't know. I don't even know what to say, but people be bugging out.
Yeah.
But but you know what's so funny is like I've always gotten away with saying things that other people would be creeped out about. You understand what I'm saying? Like if they said it, it would be creepy.
Do you think you look
You
intimidating?
know? Like for instance,
do you think that's what it is?
for instance,
like unintimidating?
and I
That's what
meant to
mean?
ask you this yesterday. Because like, you know, like I said, I kind of think of like the things I say and I know I get away with shit, but sometimes maybe somebody might. When I speak to you all the time, I go, Ma, does that bother you when I say that?
No.
Because you know, like that's
That's just
something
your way of
about you.
speaking.
You're like, that's my speak, right?
Yeah.
But if someone like Mike Merck said to you, Ma, or something like that, it would be creepy. So people go, how do you get
I think
away
even
with
if
the
I
way
said
you
it, it might
talk?
be a little
Like
weirder.
even
It
like
might be
at
very
work,
weird.
even at work, like when I worked in a regular office, I would say, you know, like I would say
you would
stuff.
tell the secretary to come up and come here real quick, and then slap her in the ass.
No, I never did things like that. But I would say things that were like a lot of innuendos and stuff like that. But, you know, flirtatious sometimes. But that's just the way I naturally am. And no one would think nothing about it. You know why? Because there is nothing about it. There is no, I don't have, you know, a creepy bone in my body. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of debaucherous bones in my body. But, you know, that's, you know, for you to know that means we're mad cool. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, I would say things, and I remember this dude came up to me one time, and he goes, yo, G, how do you get away with saying all the shit you say in this office? And I go, I'm short and adorable. They look at me and they go, that's not a threat. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I got your nose. I'm little. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big dude in any way.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, in other words, there's nothing intimidating coming off me at all. I'm just short and adorable. I say funny things. And 80% of the time, it's funny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 80% of the time, it's funny. It's not creepy if it's actually funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. But people always say, how do you get away with saying that shit? I go, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I mean, I chalk it up to being Puerto Rican, too. We get away with a lot of stuff. But being a Puerto Rican that doesn't speak Spanish,
It's a little suspect to me.
it's a little suspect, you know?
But maybe people also just look at you and they're like, yeah, he's seen some stuff. And so they kind of take that as a good enough reason why you're allowed to say more than other people. Because people love to just assume people's life circumstances and be like, you don't know what you're talking about, you know?
Yeah.
80%, and this guy didn't even read how to lie with statistics.
Well, see, that's the thing, Timor. When you're a comedian, and I think you will agree, you make your own statistics, and people believe it. Like, you could just throw any statistic up. You could say, you know, 85, like that joke I used to have. You know, they say 1 in 4 Americans have herpes.
Right.
You know, and I was chilling, and there were 3 other dudes there. And I know I ain't got herpes, which means one of them motherfuckers is suspect. I don't know if that's a true stat. It just worked for the joke, and everybody believes it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can make our own stats. What did King
King
Handel
Handel
say?
says having a British accent in the U.S. also gives you a pass.
And it also allows you to mispronounce words that were never said that way ever before. Now all of a sudden that's the way you say it. Like, I'm trying to think of one now and I'm going blank, but there's so many words that like they say and I go, that's not how you pronounce the word.
Profile.
Yeah, profile instead of profile. You know what I'm saying? Profile. It's profile, motherfucker. Now, that wasn't said by a British dude. It was said by one of my dumb friends. But either way, that's what I mean. Like, they'll take a word and start saying it, and I'll be like, I never heard that word pronounced that way. Now, all of a sudden, that's how it's pronounced. I don't know, you could say it either way.
I like to spell the word gray, like the color gray, with an E, like they do in England instead of an A. It makes more sense.
Well, you could spell it both ways.
Well, but E
Why
is the British way of spelling it. In America, we did the A.
Yeah, well, if you take away the R, how would you pronounce it?
Gay!
So why would it be gray?
But it would be the same if it was GEY.
It'd be
Gey.
yeah, gay.
No, that would be gay. Like YES. Yes. Gay.
I thought,
No.
Gay.
I thought it was,
I think it would have the S sound. Because there's no silent E on the other one. You know, when does E even make a A sound?
But I think in
Like, you know what I'm saying?
gay, A is making
EY.
an E sound.
EY is what?
A.
A.
hey, yo, come over here.
Even that would be AY. Ayo is
No.
AY. A.
That could also be I, though.
Like when Fonzie goes A. That's what an A.
No, that's EH.
No, man, that's A.
No, it's not.
But why can it be A, not A?
No, I think it would just be A's with a Y at the end.
Well, that's like I.
That's if you go ah.
No.
But I'm
That's,
saying,
hey, puppy, come here.
look, the EY, even if you make the
Yeah, that's
when
hey,
does
come over
when
here.
does the E make a A sound?
Before C or after IE?
No,
Yes.
no, yeah.
Prove me wrong.
22%
Prove me
of
wrong.
people say you're right.
80% of people following us said I'm correct.
No, wait. There's never. When does an E? Somebody help me. When does an E make an A sound next to a Y? I know it makes an eh and an E. Eh and E.
What do you want? Ah?
The softest eh and E. Right?
I have no idea.
Hey,
The word C. S-E-E.
Hey.
which
H-A-Y.
is pronounced the same. No.
Hey
Hey,
is spelled-
hello.
Oh, hey, hello. Okay, yes, you're
Yeah,
right.
thus
All right.
proving once and for all that E and A are sometimes interchangeable in the circumstances of preceding a Y.
I will accept. I concede on that, yo. Yeah, you're right. Hey there. Hey, everybody out there. If you're looking for some comedy, man, come out to Atlantic City and check out acjokes.com, baby. There's new things going on, new comedians coming up every week. This weekend, if you're out here, man, come catch Shannon. It's going to be popping. All right? You got, I think, 3 more shows. She's out here
Yeah.
for 3 more shows. Tonight, tomorrow, 2 shows. And she's coming up 3 days every week, every month. So she's
Except
word.
next month.
yeah.
Cool. All month this month you're coming here?
No. Every month she'll be up here for 3 days.
Oh,
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, every month
Okay.
she's coming. So check the website. We already got you booked, I think, through July already, right?
I'm
So-
not here next month, though. I'm here in May.
Yeah, we didn't. Did we give you dates for next month?
No.
No?
I just thought it was because you knew the avails had already closed at the pair.
No, I didn't even know. I don't
we'll
even
touch
know when the
base.
avails going to the pair. To be honest, like I don't give avails, man. It's fucked up. I should get out there more.
It's fine. You're
But-
not dealing with like 7 random comics on every lineup. You don't really need it to. Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, she's up here 1 weekend every month. Just check the website because it changes every time. But man, come check her out. She's a beast. That's what we're doing now. We got a couple of like monthly house comics now. You know, we got Darryl coming up, I think, in 2 weeks. Darryl will be out here. And, yeah, there's big things going on. We just booked Aaron Berg. He's going to be coming down. We got a bunch of things happening. So check out AC Jokes, man, and find out what's so funny in Atlantic City. It's us. Fuck what you heard. No longer in Tropicana, over at resorts. Don't let them lie to you with the Atlantic City Comedy Club. That's not us, baby. All right? I mean, I'm not going to say that some of the people there ain't cool, because a lot of those comedians are my people, but that's not us. AC Jokes over in Resorts, and soon to open over at Claridge. So come check us out, acjokes.com. You know, AC Jokes.
Is that our show?
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you.
It's not our show.
No.
Sometimes
it seems like it's gonna end, but we never. Even when we say we're gonna end, we never do.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, the
Yeah.
credits
Okay.
almost rolled. The credits
Seemed
almost
like it.
rolled.
Yeah, I was getting
No, they
close.
almost did, but then I realized that the show's actually at 9:00, so we have a little more time. I wanted to ask you yesterday, who are some of your influences in comedy?
It sounds narcissistic, but I don't feel like I have any because I didn't watch comedy before I started comedy. I just started. I went to the pair one night on accident, didn't have a plan, and yeah, I
You got
started
barked
watching
in?
comedy there. I got barked in. I was really sad. I got barked in. I went like 18 more times, and then I was like, I'm gonna start doing comedy. But I had never really watched. Like I had watched some Chappelle, I'd watched some Aziz Ansari, but no one else. I like comics that talk about their families. I feel like that's authentic, but
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone. I think every time I think of the way someone else does comedy and I try to in any way influence my own comedy with it, goes terribly.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
No, it is, and it makes a lot of sense too. Because actually, when I see you up there, you don't remind me of anybody.
Yeah.
That's why I asked. I was very interested to know because really, when I see you, you don't remind me of anybody.
Well, part of why I like doing
You know?
comedy is just I can just be myself. I don't have to lie.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, but for me, like people see, they'll come up to me, they'll see different comedians in me, and they're not even like like some people say Cat Williams, which I wouldn't call him one of my influences. You know, Bill Burr, I get a lot, but I wouldn't really call him an influence because I realized I was very much like him the first time I saw him, which is that's what made me like him. It was like I remember
You guys think the same.
when
Yeah,
I
I
was
really like
thinking
Bill Burr.
when I was first thinking about doing comedy, I watched his first special on Netflix, and I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I sat there and I went, "Fuck, man, I don't even have to do comedy. This dude is doing all my like he's doing everything I would talk about." That's how I felt, But I'd say Patrice definitely influenced me. I can't say that he didn't. Patrice, and then probably some older comedians.
Woody Allen influenced them in many ways.
Man, fucking Woody, what a fucking perv. Can't watch his shit either no more, man.
I still do though.
Yeah,
I like.
Him,
There
I
are
kinda
so
know
few
why.
movies that I like that if I really like a movie, it's never leaving the rotation of movies that I
See,
watch.
I thought that, but I can't watch Tom Hanks no more.
What's your favorite Woody Allen
And I
movie?
used to love Tom Hanks.
Anything? Oh no, whatever works. That's what it's called.
Okay.
never-
What did Tom Hanks do?
He's a pedo.
What didn't he do, Shannon? What
Oh,
didn't
no.
he do?
Yeah, he's like he's been called out by name, and the dude that called him out by name conveniently committed suicide like 2 days later. After calling him out by name and saying I'm not suicidal, he decided to jump headfirst into an oncoming truck off of an overpass on Route 66.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and he came out straight up and said, "Tom
But
Hanks,
you know what?
Tom
I'm still
Hanks is the
probably
pedo."
not going to stop watching Tom
I
Hanks
thought
movies.
I couldn't either. Like I was like, I'm still gonna watch him because my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies, is Gump. Is one of my favorite movies. I can't watch it because there's so many other things that I know. Like that's that one dude.
Yeah.
But then it goes deeper because then the next day after that, Tom Hanks threw a bandana on the ground and took a picture, and the color of the bandana is supposed to be one of those symbols of like little boys, and then it said roadkill on Route 66, and the dude did that the day before, and then he posts that, and he's trying to say it has nothing to do with that. Meanwhile, it was on Route 66 that happened, and he wrote roadkill on Route 66 with the bandana, and then it's the whole thing. He
Should
moved
really
to
get on
Greece.
YouTube.
Yeah, he moved to Greece,
You're missing a
where
lot on
where
YouTube.
the age is lower. I think the age is 12 in Greece or something like that.
Ew.
So he moved to Greece because they were supposed to
It's
be
not that.
investigating
It's not that
him
low in
here.
Greece.
No.
We've done it. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
we
not
did.
that.
It's not that
yeah,
low.
yeah. I think it was.
I'm surprised he didn't move to where was the place coming in hot? What was that place?
You know who else talks about Tom Hanks being a pedophile a lot? My mom.
Is she free to do the show next week?
She's not wrong.
She would love to.
Look, you have to just look. All you have to do is Google it, and you'll see all the information that's out there that all points to that. And then what kills me is once it started coming out and people started talking about it, and then he moved to Greece. He came back with a new movie, and the whole movie was about him protecting a kid that all these dudes wanted to like abuse. And I'm like, really, dog?
No.
That's the movie you're gonna come out with that you're protected. I didn't even watch the movie. I just can't. And then I listen to the things he says, like supposedly he's on the flight list. But just like when you watch these interviews now and you'll hear him say certain things, now knowing this stuff, you sit there and go, whoa, that has a different feel to it now,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's all accusations, but it's enough for me to go, yeah, I can't. I just can't. Now, I can still listen to Michael because I don't believe that Michael Jackson did anything.
But there's got to be a cycle to it where all these guys. Although I don't know how young Tom Hanks was when he started getting into acting, but I do feel like
he
there's
was
just this.
very young.
Yeah, there is a cycle to it where it's just
They kind of believe this is just how it is.
They
This is the part of
normalize
the
it.
business. That's what Puffy was telling that producer. He's like, look, showing him a picture of his favorite producer banging some other dude out. And he's like, look,
Ew.
everybody does it. That's just the way this game is.
See, in women we started Me Too, but guys are gonna have to do their own movement.
Well, a dude came out against Puffy, the first dude to come out with a lawsuit, saying Puffy was constantly with his fingers in his booty.
Ew.
Like straight up, that's what he said. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whoa. I'm saying it nicely. That dude was like using scientific words. It just sounds worse, you know. But yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy accusations. Insane.
It was 12 in Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea was 12, coming in hot with 12. Ugh. Oof.
So don't call me a guinea ever again.
Well, now it brings a new word.
A new connotation to the meaning.
Yeah. You know, now instead of saying that, maybe we can call them guineas.
Most people haven't even hit puberty at 12. Not really.
Not really, man. 12 years old, you're just discovering shit. You know, 12 years old, you was like still rubbing on your couch, right?
Yeah, I waited till I was 14.
He was humping his dog's leg. Shannon, if they want to follow you, where can they follow you, man? And you gotta get your Instagram up, man.
Yeah.
I was looking at it the other day, and I'm like, I wouldn't even know she's a comedian until I get
I couldn't find
I
it.
just got a nice new phone, so I posted my first reel.
Oh, great.
I'm working on the second one. I started recording it in the living room today, and right here. And then I have a bunch planned. I'm working on it. It's out. The first one did well for the first one.
What's
so
your handle?
It's Shanon Harris Live. My name is spelled wrong on this podcast. I'm not.
Oh yeah, we'll fix
I'm not
that.
offended.
We'll fix that.
No.
It's-
That's AC Joke's fault because I got your name from the website.
Oh, so we gotta fix that on the website.
It's SHANON.
There you go. Shanon Harris Live.
Yeah, that's me.
Go follow her, people.
Yeah, I'm gonna be publishing a book this year. It's already written, so I promise it's getting published. I write. I'm working on music.
What is it about?
Oh, it's just about my life and its oddities, and it kind of flashes back and forth between basically there's like transit stories, which are like basically my life has been very topsy-turvy as far as where it's located. Right. So each one is like me having a terrible or positive experience going from one place to another. And then it goes to a story of my life, and it's in 3 sections about basically, 4 sections: childhood, love, race/poverty, because I have some interesting life stories regarding
Poverty
that people wouldn't expect.
With really cool stories, doesn't it?
So does addiction.
Yeah. So it's just my life. I might be too young to make a memoir, but that's what it is.
No, this is cool. So it's gonna come out this summer or the end of the year, you said?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna self-publish it. That's kind of the last thing that I'm sorting out, but it should be hopefully out this summer. Yeah.
Good for you.
It's called
Very cool. And it gets coming up in New York.
I'm at the Grizzly Pear just about every week. Grizzly Pear McDougal Street every Friday. And aside from that, Baroness LIC every Wednesday. And several other sporadic gigs in between.
All right, so follow her this way you know where she's going to be.
Yeah.
And she's in Atlantic City all weekend. Brian, you got anything you want to add?
You can catch me on this podcast next week.
Also, check out Brian's other podcast, man. Yo Dom.
Yo Dom with Dom Herrera.
Check out Yo Dom, man. He's fun. He don't promote that. This dude's got like A1 comedian guests coming on that show, and you don't even promote it.
You know what's funny? I wear my Rated G hat every episode on the show, too.
There you go, man. God bless, man. Does anybody ever ask you about it?
No, but every time I bring up my other podcast, Dom goes, yo, whoa. None of that. None of that. He's like, whoa, what other podcast?
Oh, wow, man. That's kind of, well, listen, I still give love to Dom, man. He's a legend. So check out his other podcast with Dom Herrera. And who's the other guy on there with you?
His name is Steve Rinaldi.
Steve, you remember Steve? He was on our show once for a couple of minutes. He felt the hot seat. I mean, listen, how bad can we be? She hung for fucking how long are we right now?
212.
212, man.
Mm-hmm. 212.
It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Steve Rinaldi couldn't hang with us for like, what did he stay for 15 minutes?
Nah, dude, he was there for the whole show.
No, he left early.
No, it was an hour. He stayed for an hour.
I don't think he made an hour.
Yeah.
I don't know, but check it out, man. With him, Dom Herrera, and the other guy, Steve Rinaldi. I can say that because I know he doesn't support this podcast.
He's definitely not watching it at this far. No, he's not watching it at all.
No. No, he'll catch the clips.
Yeah.
And then he's probably one of the people who comment who say, "You guys are a bunch of dicks." It's probably him doing
He
most
has
of
shadow accounts where he just roasts us.
Yeah, man. Follow Brian at Brian T. Licata. Follow me at Gary G. Garcia. And once again, if you haven't liked it yet, like and subscribe. And listen, guys, if you want to support the podcast, if you want our mics to sound better, if you want the picture to be better, then, we can use your help a little bit, man. Go to briantlicata.com/shop and go support the podcast with some dope drip, man.
Bye. See you,
Peace,
everybody.
y'all.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.